Sit with me for a moment, just for a moment. Drop the heavy burden of being a parent, of being a provider, of being the one who must know everything. Let us sit as if we are under a quiet tree, where the wind is gentle and the mind can finally rest. I want to speak to you about something very close to your heart, perhaps the closest thing of all. I want to speak to you about your child. And I want to speak to you about the love you bear for them. Every parent believes they love. If you ask any mother, any father, anywhere in this world, do you love your child? They will look at you with shock. They will say, of course, I would die for them. And I do not doubt your sincerity, I do not doubt your intention, but I must tell you a hard truth, a truth that may sting at first like salt on a wound, but it is necessary for the healing to begin. Love is not what you think it is. What you call love, in 99% of cases, is not love. It is possession, it is control, it is fear masked as care. You see, love that tries to shape a child becomes a cage, and the cage often looks very beautiful. It is furnished with good schools, with piano lessons, with expensive clothes, with safety, with advice. But a cage is still a cage, and this is why children suffer without ever knowing why. They have everything, yet they feel empty. They are surrounded by people, yet they feel lonely. In this sharing, I will show you the root of this mistake that almost every parent makes. It is not because you are bad. No, you are not bad. You are simply asleep. You will see why your child suffers even when you try to give love. You will understand how fear hides inside your advice, how your own past sits in your words. And I will show you a new way, a way that brings freedom to both you and the child. When you see this clearly, the struggle in the home begins to melt. The tension becomes light and love becomes clean, pure, without pressure. But before we go deeper, if you feel a stirring in your heart, if you feel that what I am saying is touching a truth you have long forgotten, I invite you to support this space of silence. You can become a member of this channel by clicking the join button. It is a small gesture, but it helps us keep this flame of awareness burning in a world full of darkness. By joining, you walk closer with us. Now look at the reality of your home. Every parent knows the same pain. You want to help, yet the child pulls away. You speak with care, yet the child feels hurt. You try to guide, yet the child feels trapped. Why? Why is there this gap between your intention and their experience? This confusion comes because parents repeat what their own parents did, not out of choice, but out of sleep. You act mechanically. You act like a robot programmed by your past. You carry old ideas, old fear, old rules, and you place them on the soft, fresh heart of the child. I am not here to blame you. Blame is useless. Blame creates guilt, and guilt is a poison. I am here to help you see what has been unseen, because once you see, you cannot continue the old way. Awareness changes everything without force. Imagine you are walking in a dark room and you keep bumping into the furniture, hurting your shins, breaking vases. You are not clumsy, you are just in the dark. I am simply turning on the light. Once the light is on, you do not need to try not to bump into the furniture. You simply don't. You see, this one thing shapes the child more than school, more than friends, more than the whole world. It is the quality of your consciousness. In this message, I will take you step by step into the mind of the parent and the soul of the child. I will show you how the first wound forms, how a single word can stay alive in the heart for years. How a small pressure from you becomes a lifelong struggle inside the child. We will look at the most common mistake parents make, the mistake that hides inside every good intention. We will go deeper into why love becomes control and why fear becomes advice. And later, I will share something that most parents never hear: how to love a child without shaping them, guiding them, or forcing them. There is a simple truth waiting for you, a truth that can free your child and also free you. Stay with me, and the whole story of parenting will look different by the end. If you value these insights and wish to see them reach more parents who are struggling, please click the like button. Your engagement acts as a signal to the universe and to the algorithm that this message is needed. It is a form of service to spread awareness. And do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss the steps that follow. Here is something almost everyone misses. A child is not wounded first by hate. If a stranger hates a child, the child can brush it off. It does not penetrate deep into the soul. But a child is wounded first by love, but a love that is asleep, a love that does not see. And this is why the wound goes so deep. Because when a parent hurts the child without meaning to, the child cannot protect themselves. They cannot put up a shield against you. You are their God. You are their survival. They trust you. They come into the world soft, open, without any armor, without any walls, and the very hands that should warm them sometimes press too hard. Let me show you how this happens. Don't think of this as blame. Think of it as opening your eyes after a long sleep. You see, the moment a child is born, something very old wakes up in the parent. Fear, not loud fear, not the fear of a tiger chasing you. It is a quiet fear, a fear that hides inside care. Fear that looks like I must protect you. Fear that whispers, I know what is best for you. But the child does not hear the words. The child is very intuitive. The child is not yet corrupted by language. They feel the energy, they feel the weight behind the words. Even before the child understands language, they understand pressure. They feel the parent's tension, the parent's hopes, the parent's dreams. They feel it in the touch, in the tone, in the space around them. It is thick in the air. It is like a small flower in the hands of a gardener who loves too much. He is obsessed with the flower. He trims and trims and trims, believing he is helping the flower grow. He is constantly touching it, moving it, checking it, but the flower needed sun, not shaping. It needed space, not scissors. It needed to be left alone to commune with the earth and the sky. This is how love becomes a wound, not because the gardener is bad, he loves the flower, but because he cannot see the flower as it is. He sees only what he thinks the flower should become. He has an idea in his mind. This flower must be a rose, but perhaps the seed was a lotus. And by trying to force the lotus to be a rose, he destroys the beauty of the lotus and creates a very poor, crippled rose. This is what you are doing. You see only your design, your plan, your vision. Let me give you a simple picture. A child who loves to play in the mud, laugh in the rain, move with the wind. He is purely alive. He is in touch with existence. And the parent says, "No, not this. It will spoil your clothes. Come inside, behave." The parent thinks they are teaching cleanliness. The child feels, my joy is wrong, my nature is wrong. Another child likes to sit quietly, dream, draw. She is introverted, deep, reflective. And the parent says, this won't help your future. You must go out, make friends, be aggressive, be a leader. Or you take a child who loves music, who feels joy touching a piano key, and the parent forces practice every day, not for joy, but for achievement. You must be the best. You must pass the exam. Then the piano becomes heavy. It becomes duty. What began as a song becomes a weight on the small chest of the child. The parent says, "I'm doing this for you," but the child feels, "I must do this to be loved." And this tiny message becomes the first wound, a message the child may carry for their whole life. I am not enough as I am. I must do something. I must be something to earn love. This is how early it begins. This is how silently it begins. A child learns very fast that pleasing the parent means safety, means warmth, means love. So the child starts to bend like a young tree in a storm. They bend to avoid breaking. They start to shape themselves to fit your desire. And each time they bend, something inside becomes a little less alive. A little piece of their soul goes into a coma. I want you to feel the weight of this, but not with guilt. Guilt is a waste of energy. Feel it with understanding. Because once you understand, you can stop the old pattern. You can stop trimming the flower. You can let it bloom in its own wild way. And once we see that the wound begins in love, we can start to see the deeper mistake. Parents never notice a mistake so subtle, so soft, that it hides inside every good intention. Let us move deeper now, because once you see how love can wound without meaning to, the next layer becomes clear on its own, like a mist lifting from a quiet morning field. And this next layer is something so ordinary, so common, so accepted in every home that parents never even notice when it turns from gentle guidance into a soft, invisible chain around the child's heart. And I want you to feel this with me slowly, as if we are walking together into a room you have lived in your whole life but never truly seen. Because what I am about to say may sound simple, yet it cuts right to the center of why so many children grow up feeling small inside themselves, even when surrounded by parents who believe they are doing everything right. You see, guidance is a beautiful word. It sounds warm, loving, wise. Every parent wants to be a guide. But the moment guidance carries fear, the moment it carries expectation, the moment it says, "Do what I think is right because I am older and bigger," it stops being guidance and becomes control. And control is never felt as love by the one who receives it. Never. It may look like care on the outside. It may come with a soft smile, a gentle tone, even a kind intention. But the child feels something else entirely. Children have a strange and beautiful sensitivity. They do not hear the words first. They feel the emotional weight behind the words. They feel the mood, the tension, the hope, the fear sitting beneath the parent's voice. And before they know how to speak, they already know the meaning of pressure. For those of you who wish to deepen this understanding, who wish to not just hear these words but live them, we have compiled our essential teachings into books that act as mirrors for your soul. Check the description to find these ebooks. They are tools for your liberation. If you feel gratitude for this space we are creating, you can also use the super thanks button below. It allows us to continue bringing this silence to a noisy world. Imagine a little bird sitting on the branch of a tree. The bird looks free. The bird looks calm. But if its wings have never known the open sky because the owner keeps saying, "I am protecting you, stay in the nest, the sky is dangerous," then the nest is a cage. Even if it is lined with soft feathers, it is a prison. This is what parental guidance often becomes, a golden cage, a cage built with love, but still a cage. And the child feels it even when they cannot name it. It begins in such small ways. A look of disappointment when the child makes a choice different from what the parent wanted. Just a look. You don't even have to speak. The eyes say, "You have hurt me." A soft sigh when the child expresses a wish that does not match the parent's dream. A slight tightening in the parent's tone when the child moves in their own direction. The parent thinks they are teaching values. The child feels they are failing. Slowly, slowly, the child begins to fear disappointing you more than they fear making a mistake. This is one of the greatest tragedies in a young heart. When fear of letting you down becomes greater than their desire to explore life. And once this fear is inside, the child begins to hide. They hide their true wants. They hide their natural impulses. They hide their questions, their doubts, their fantasies, their playfulness. They become careful around you. Have you noticed this? Does your child measure your face before they speak? Do they scan your mood to see if it is safe to be themselves? They prepare their words before they share. They shape their truth to fit your expectation. And day by day, an emotional distance grows between you and the child. A distance you cannot see because you are standing on your side of the bridge thinking, "I am so close to my child." But the child feels like a cold space in their chest. Let me give you an example. A child comes home excited, full of life, ready to share a drawing they made from their own heart. It is a strange creature with wings and colors and shapes no adult mind could invent. It is pure creativity. But the parent, wanting to help, wanting the child to be good at art, says, "Why didn't you draw it more neatly? Why did you use these colors? Grass is green, not purple. You should make it more real." And the child who came with joy suddenly feels something sink inside. Not because the parent was cruel, the parent was trying to be a teacher, but because the child felt the invisible cage tightening. The message becomes, "Your way is not right, follow my way." Another example, a child who laughs too loudly, moves too wildly, dances too freely. The energy is exploding. It is pure life force. And the parent, anxious about noise or neighbors or judgment, worried about what others will think, says, "Stop this, behave, sit still." The child does not hear, "Calm down." The child hears, "Your joy is wrong." And so they grow into an adult who cannot celebrate without guilt, an adult who feels they take up too much space. This kind of control is not loud, it is not harsh, it is soft, quiet, polite, and that is why it is so dangerous. You see, loud control, a parent who screams and hits, you can fight against that. You can rebel against that. You can say, "My father is crazy." But soft control enters the heart like mist, shaping the child silently from inside. The child thinks, "My father is so good, so kind, he loves me so much, so if I feel bad, it must be my fault." But remember, I am not showing you this so you can feel guilty. Guilt serves nothing. I am showing you so you can wake up. Because the moment you see that your guidance has become a cage, a new possibility opens. The cage door begins to loosen, the bird begins to stir. And this control, this quiet shaping does not come from nowhere. It is not that you are an evil person, it comes from a deeper pattern. A pattern older than you, older than your parents, older than your whole family line. It is a pattern that moves from one generation to the next like an old unexamined dream. And to understand this deeper pattern, we must go further. We must look at something most parents never dare to look at. Where does this need to guide, to shape, to control actually come from? Why are you so anxious about your child's future? Why does it hurt you when they disobey? Now we come to a very tender place. a place most parents avoid without even knowing they are avoiding it, a place inside the heart where old memories sleep but never truly die. And if you are willing to walk with me into this space, slowly, gently, without fear, you will begin to see how every moment you share with your child is shaped not by the present alone, but by echoes of a past you have carried for so long that it has become almost invisible to you. It is like a perfume on your clothes that you no longer notice, but others can smell the moment they come close. This is why I say no parent begins fresh. Every parent begins with a long history standing behind them, whispering old messages, old wounds, old rules, old fears. And unless you become aware of this inner history, you will pass it on without ever meaning to. And your child will begin to carry a weight that is not theirs, a weight that once belonged to you. You see, no parent wakes up in the morning thinking, I will repeat the pain I felt when I was small. No mother says, I will give my child the same fear my mother gave me. No father says, I will speak the same harsh words my father spoke. You swear you will be different. You promise yourself. But life does not move by intention alone. Life moves by unconscious patterns, and these patterns are powerful because they live in the parts of you that you do not yet see. When you were small, you learned certain ways to survive, certain ways to please, certain ways to stay safe, certain ways to stay invisible or quiet or obedient or strong, and these survival patterns become habits. And habits become identity, and identity becomes the lens through which you see your own child. Let me tell you a simple truth. Children do not only inherit your DNA, they inherit your unfinished life. They inherit the fear you never faced. They inherit the silence you never broke. They inherit the shame you never healed. They inherit the dreams you never lived and the anger you never released. And all this moves through you like a river into the young soil of the child, not because you want it, but because you have not yet seen it. Unseen things always continue. Unseen things always repeat. Think of emotional patterns like old clothes handed down through generations. A grandmother who was taught to hide her feelings passes that silence to her daughter. The daughter, thinking silence is strength, passes it to her son. The son grows up believing emotions are weakness, and then he raises his own child with the same cold distance, never knowing the original source was a woman long gone, in a time long past, carrying her own pain in a small room with no one to hear her cry. These emotional clothes do not fit the child. They are too tight or too heavy or too old-fashioned. But the child wears them anyway because they come from the parent, and whatever comes from the parent feels necessary for survival. The child thinks, if my father wears this heavy coat of silence, I must wear it too to belong to him. Let me give you a living example so you can see it in your own life. A father who felt unseen as a child grows up with a hidden wound. The wound whispers, I am not enough unless I prove myself. So he becomes successful, hard-working, disciplined. He builds a life with great effort, sweating every day to build a fortress of achievement. And then his child comes into the world, soft, playful, full of wonder, not interested in work, only interested in butterflies. And the father, without intending harm, begins to push the child toward excellence. He says, you must get good grades, you must win the trophy, you must be first. Not because the child needs it, not because the child wants it, but because the father's own wound is screaming, do not let him feel what you felt, do not let him be invisible. But in trying to save the child from his own past, he he pushes the child into the same pattern of striving for approval. The father believes he is offering love. He thinks, I am giving him a future. But inside the child, a different message forms. If I don't excel, I am not worthy. My father's love is a prize I have to win, not a gift I can just receive. And so the wound travels from one heart to the next. It has simply changed bodies. Or take a mother who grew up in a home full of fear, a home where every mistake was punished, where every expression of joy was shushed, where every desire was judged. She learns to make herself small. She learns to speak softly. She learns to always be good. When she becomes a parent, her deepest instinct is to protect her child from danger. But because she sees danger everywhere, her protection becomes a prison. Her love is full of warnings. Don't do that. Don't go there. Don't be too loud. Don't take risks. It is not safe. And the child grows up confusing fear with love. The child grows up believing the world is unsafe, not because the world is unsafe, but because the mother once lived in a world that was unsafe. Her world becomes the child's world. Do you see how this works? You are not raising only your child. You are raising every buried part of your own childhood at the same time. And until you see this, you will keep confusing the two. You will think you are responding to your child, but you are reacting to your own past. You will think you are guiding, but you are reliving. You will think you are protecting, but you are projecting the dangers of yesterday onto the open sky of today. I say these words not so you feel burdened. I do not want you to carry a heavy load of guilt. I say them so you feel free. Because the moment this truth becomes clear, something shifts inside you. You begin to notice your reactions not as the absolute truth, but as memories. You begin to see your impulses not as wisdom, but as echoes. And when you see them clearly, they lose their power over you. Awareness breaks the chain. Awareness ends the old story. Awareness allows you to meet your child as a new being, not as a continuation of your past. You can look at your child and say, you are not me, and I am not my parents. And in that space, love can finally breathe. If this message is helping you see your own patterns, if it is bringing light to the corners of your home, please consider clicking the like button. It helps us find other parents who are also searching for this light. And if you wish to walk this path of awareness deeper, subscribe to the channel. We are building a community of conscious souls here. And now, as we stand at this doorway of awareness, something even deeper becomes visible. Because when these patterns repeat without your awareness, when you carry your past into your present, when your old wounds color your child's world, they create the most subtle, the most hidden, the most dangerous mistake parents make. A mistake so quiet that very few ever see it. And that is where we must go next. We have gone step by step, layer by layer, through the soft places where love turns into pressure, where guidance turns into control, and where the past turns into the present without your permission. And now we come to the quiet center of it all, the one place where almost every parent stumbles without ever realizing they have stumbled, the place where the biggest mistake hides. It is not loud, it is not dramatic, it is not obvious like abuse or neglect. It is subtle, silent, woven into the smallest moments of daily life, like a thread so fine that only when you pull it does the entire fabric begin to reveal itself. And this mistake is so common, so universal, that parents believe it is not a mistake at all, but simply the natural way to love a child. Yet it is this one thing that creates the deepest confusion in the child's soul. Let me tell you slowly with care. because this is not something to touch in a hurry. The mistake is this: parents project what the child should become instead of seeing who the child already is. And the moment you project, you stop seeing. The moment you imagine a future for the child, you lose touch with the child standing in front of you right now. And the moment you lose touch, love becomes effort, guidance becomes pressure, and the child begins to feel a strange loneliness even while sitting beside you. Projection is one of the oldest habits of the human mind. You have a picture of who the child should be: strong, successful, polite, disciplined, talented, obedient, spiritual, intelligent, independent. You have a list. You have a picture of the life the child should live: what school, what skill, what personality, what habits, what dreams. You have a picture of what the child should overcome and what the child must avoid. And slowly, without even noticing, you start relating more to the picture than to the child. You become like a sculptor, hammer in hand, chisel ready, trying to carve the marble into the shape you want. You look at the stone and you do not see the natural form hidden inside. You see only your design, your plan, your vision. So you begin to chip away, chip, not out of cruelty, but out of care. You believe you are making a masterpiece, but a child is not a stone. A child is a seed. You cannot sculpt a seed. If you hit a seed with a hammer and chisel, you do not get a statue. You get a dead seed. You can only let it grow. This is why I say, be a gardener, not a sculptor. A gardener waters, a gardener protects, a gardener nourishes the soil. But the gardener does not decide the color of the flower. He does not decide the direction of the branches. He does not pull the stem to make it taller. The gardener allows, the sculptor forces. And most parents, without realizing it, choose the hammer over the sunlight. Look around you. Look at your own interactions with your child today. You may think you are guiding them, but if you observe clearly, you may see that you are shaping them, shaping their choices, shaping their dreams, shaping their identity, shaping their very sense of self. And this shaping creates the deepest confusion in the child. The child begins to ask, who am I? Am I the person I feel inside? Or am I the person my mother wants me to be? Who do I have to be loved? What must I change to be accepted? These questions are the roots of a lifetime of suffering because they pull the child away from their natural center and push them toward a life that is not theirs. Imagine a small river flowing freely down a hill. It does not know where it will turn, where it will widen, where it will become shallow or deep. It simply moves with its own nature. It follows the path of least resistance. It sings as it goes. But then someone comes with a blueprint, an engineer, and says, no, the river should go this way. This curve must be sharper. This path must be straighter. This depth must be deeper, so boats can pass. And suddenly the river is no longer a river. It becomes a canal, a controlled waterway. Efficient, yes. Predictable, yes. Manageable, yes. But the wild joy of flow is gone. The song is dead. This is what happens to a child when the parent imposes a future. The child becomes a canal. The natural flow is lost, and the soul that cannot flow becomes restless for the rest of its life. Let me give you a concrete example. A child shows interest in drawing, just drawing, scribbling colors, making shapes. The parent immediately asks, can this become a career? Will it have value? Will it give security? Is he talented enough? Already the seed is being evaluated, measured, judged by adult standards. The parent says, if you are going to draw something real, go to a class, learn the technique. The child draws not to express, but to prove, and slowly the joy drains out. Not because drawing changed, but because the parent looked at the flower and said, "Grow according to my plan." The play became work. The passion became a project. Another example, a child loves to talk, to ask questions, to explore ideas. They are a chatterbox. They ask a million things a minute. And the parent says, "You talk too much, you ask too many questions. You should be quiet, listen more." So the child learns to push their curiosity down, not because curiosity is wrong, but because it does not fit the parent's picture of a good, quiet, polite child. And one day that child becomes an adult who cannot speak their truth, who hesitates to share their feelings, who fears being too much or too honest. The projection has become a prison. This happens every day in thousands of small ways. A parent plans the child's future before the child shows their natural interest. A parent decides what is good for the child before the child knows what brings joy. A parent designs a life the child never asked for. And this is why children carry a quiet sorrow that they cannot explain. Not depression, not rebellion, those are loud. I am talking about a soft sadness, a sadness that grows from not being seen, a feeling of, "I am here, but nobody sees me." But here is the beauty. The moment you see the difference between guiding and projecting, between supporting and shaping, between loving and sculpting, the entire world of parenting opens in a new way. You begin to feel the child as a living presence, a mystery unfolding, not a project to complete, not a future to design. You begin to watch them the way you would watch a sunrise. When you watch a sunrise, do you say, "Move a little to the left, be a little more orange, rise a little faster"? No, you simply witness. You stand in awe. And that witnessing becomes the purest form of love. Because once you learn to see the child as they are, not as you want them to be, a new vision arises. A vision that can heal the wounds created long ago. A vision that brings freedom to both you and the child. A vision that leads us into the next understanding. That before you can truly see the child, you must learn to see their inner world. And their inner world is nothing like the world you imagine. Now we enter a new space, a softer space. A space where the noise of adult minds begins to fade and the quiet music of the child's inner world becomes clear. And I want you to walk into this space with me slowly, without hurry, without the pressure of understanding too quickly, because the intelligence of a child cannot be grasped through speed, through thought, through logic. Logic is too square, too hard. It can only be felt the way you feel a breeze moving through leaves, gentle, spacious, effortless. And once you feel this, even for a moment, you will see that a child comes into the world already complete in a very mysterious way. They are not empty vessels waiting for you to pour your knowledge into them. No, they carry a natural intelligence that does not need to be shaped or sharpened or forced into any direction, because this intelligence knows how to grow from the inside out, not from the outside in. A child is born with an intelligence that is not learned. It is not taught. It is not downloaded like information from a computer. It is alive. It is fluid. It is organic. It moves like a river that has its own rhythm, its own timing, its own beautiful unpredictability. But adults, lost in their fear and their hurry and their obsession with the future, rush to interfere. They do not understand that a child's mind grows best through wandering, through touching, through tasting life with their whole being. Instead, they turn the child's natural exploration into a schedule, into a curriculum, into a list of goals that must be achieved. By age 2, he must do this. By age 3, she must know that. And in doing so, they interrupt the very intelligence they want to support. Look at a toddler learning to walk. It is a miracle. No teacher stands beside them with a book saying, Step 1, lift left foot. Step 2, shift weight, balance, posture, technique. No, the child simply stands, falls, stands again, falls again. And with each fall, something incredible is happening. The body is learning balance. The brain is mapping movement. The muscles are discovering strength. And the child is discovering the joy of rising after falling. This is natural intelligence. But adults, in their rush to protect, lift the child too soon. They hold their arms too tightly. They guide their steps before the legs have learned their own wisdom. And the child still walks, yes, but a little less confident, a little less sure of their own power. Because the message they absorbed was not, you can, but you need me to. This is how we interrupt the natural intelligence of the child, by believing they cannot grow without our constant instruction. But a child needs space, not pressure. They need freedom, not direction. They need the open sky of possibility, not the narrow hallway of adult expectations. Their natural intelligence blooms when left in sunlight, not when placed under a microscope. Imagine a young river flowing down from the mountains. It curves this way and that, not because it is confused, but because that is the nature of water. It finds its path by moving, by touching stones, by learning the shape of the land through experience. A parent anxious about efficiency tries to straighten the river, tries to force it into a canal so it will reach the ocean faster, safer, better. But in this attempt to improve the river, its soul is lost. It no longer flows, it is directed, it no longer dances, it is controlled, it no longer learns, it obeys. A child's intelligence is this river. Let it move, let it explore, let it surprise you. When you allow this natural exploration, something magical happens. The child discovers knowledge from within, not from fear, but from curiosity. They become learners, not performers. They become creators, not copies. And the home becomes a place of discovery rather than pressure. Let me give you a simple picture. A child reaches for a spoon, bangs it on the table, bang, 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 drops it, picks it up again, laughs, bangs it again. The parent, thinking in adult terms, serious terms, says, stop making noise, stop playing, eat properly. But the child is not playing, the child is studying. The child is studying sound, they are studying gravity. They are studying rhythm. They are learning cause and effect through their own natural intelligence. And the parent, in their hurry, cuts the experiment short. This is how the world teaches children to stop learning long before school begins. Another picture, a child asks questions. Endless, wild, beautiful questions. Why is the sky blue? Why do leaves fall? Why does water move? Where does light come from? And the parent, tired from the day, from worries, from life, says, stop asking so many questions. Because I said so, it just is. The child does not stop being curious. They stop believing their curiosity is welcome. And this is how innocence begins to dim. You see, what adults call intelligence is often nothing but accumulated knowledge, dead facts. But what a child has is something far more precious, a direct connection to life. They learn by touching, by moving, by falling, by trying, by watching, by listening with their whole body. Their learning is not narrow. It is total. It is alive. But when this natural intelligence meets adult fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the future, something deeper begins to happen. The child slowly replaces their own inner knowing with the expectations of the parent. They trade curiosity for caution. They trade exploration for obedience. They trade their natural rhythm for the rhythm imposed upon them. If you are a parent watching this and you feel the weight of these words, know that it is not too late. To support the work we do in bringing these truths to light, consider clicking the join button to become a member. Your support helps us nurture this garden of awareness. And do not forget to check the description for our ebooks, which can be your companions on this journey of unlearning. And that is where we must go next, into the world beneath the child's actions, the emotional world, because children do not absorb what you teach, they absorb who you are. Let me take you even deeper now, into a place that is far more delicate than the mind, far more powerful than instruction, and far more permanent than any lesson a parent could ever teach. Because if you truly understand this next truth, the entire way you relate to your child will begin to shift, not by force, not by effort, but by a natural softening inside you, a softening that comes when you see something clearly for the very first time. And the truth is simple, yet it has the strength to change everything. A child does not hear what you say. A child feels what you are. This is why so much guidance fails. This is why so much advice collapses. This is why so many parents speak thousands of words, yet never reach the heart of their child. Because communication is not happening through language, it is happening through presence, through tone, through mood, through silence, through the tiny vibrations that travel between one heart and another without ever passing through the mind. Before a child learns words, they learn your face. Before they learn sentences, they learn your energy. Before they learn meanings, they learn the emotional climate of the home, the unspoken atmosphere that surrounds them like air. Picture a still pond. When the sky is clear, the water reflects the sky perfectly. When the sky is cloudy, when it is stormy, the pond reflects that storm without argument. A child is this pond. They do not judge your emotions. They do not filter your tone. They do not think mama is tired or papa is stressed or they are worried about work. They only feel the storm and believe it belongs to them. When you are anxious, they absorb anxiety as if it were their own heartbeat. When you are angry, they feel danger even if you never raise your voice. When you are sad, they feel heavy without knowing why. And when you are peaceful, they become peaceful effortlessly without being told a single word. You can tell a child 100 times, don't be scared. But if fear is sitting in your own breath, the child will inhale that fear as if it were oxygen. You can say, be confident. But if you doubt yourself every day, the child will mirror that doubt and carry it like a quiet shadow. You can say, be honest. But if you hide your feelings, the child will learn to hide theirs. This is why children grow into adults who do not understand their own emotions, because they learned early to feel what others feel, but not to express what they feel. They became experts in your weather, but strangers to their own climate. Let me paint you a picture so you can see this clearly. A mother is washing dishes. She is moving quickly, tensely. She is lost in a storm of thoughts about bills, deadlines, responsibilities. Her hands are rough with the plates. The clatter is a little too loud. The child walks into the room humming, open, curious, holding a toy. Without even turning, the mother senses the child and says, "Don't worry, everything is fine, go play." But the child feels the tension in her shoulders. The child sees the stiffness in her breath. The child hears the hurried movements. And the child absorbs the truth, not the words. The truth says, the world is stressful. The world is heavy. Something is wrong. And perhaps I am in the way. And that truth becomes the child's emotional blueprint, the foundation on which their inner world is built. Another picture: a father sits with a child doing homework. The father says gently, "Take your time, I am here, there is no rush." The words are perfect, but his foot taps on the floor. Tap, tap, tap. His jaw tightens. His eyes glance toward his phone, toward the clock, toward the door. He is physically present, but energetically he is running a race. The child feels the impatience flowing like heat in the room, and slowly the child learns to rush, to panic, to feel pressured even when no pressure is spoken. Years later, that same child will be an adult who cannot relax even when everything is okay, because they learned the emotional habit of urgency from a father who loved them dearly but carried his own hurry like a fire in his chest. A child mirrors not your teachings but your inner state. They absorb emotion the way dry soil absorbs water, completely, without resistance, without evaluation. And if your emotions come from your own past, your own wounds, your own fears, then your child is absorbing not the present moment, but the history of your inner life. This is why so many children carry anxiety from homes that looked peaceful. This is why so many children feel lonely in families that speak lovingly. This is why so many children grow up confused, unsure of themselves, unsure of what they feel, because the emotional language they learned was not spoken in words, but in everything that surrounded them silently. But here is the most important part: do not despair. Because children do not absorb only fear, they absorb peace with the same ease. They absorb joy with the same ease. They absorb love with the same ease. They absorb wonder, curiosity, relaxation, presence. If you sit with your child fully, without your mind pulling you somewhere else, the child blossoms. If your breath slows, their breath slows. If your heart softens, their heart opens. If you feel at ease, they feel safe. This is the deep truth. A child becomes your emotional echo, and the echo is always faithful. So now the question arises, not a question to answer with words, but a question to feel in your body. What are you giving your child without speaking? Because this emotional imprint, this silent transmission, becomes the voice inside the child's mind as they grow. It becomes the tone of their inner critic. It becomes the warmth of their inner comfort. It becomes the rhythm of their inner confidence. It becomes the way they speak to themselves when no one is around. If you're beginning to realize the weight of your silent transmission and you wish to change the frequency of your home, please take a moment to click the like button. It is a small action, but it signifies your commitment to awareness. And for those who wish to support this channel's mission to bring consciousness to parenting, consider using the Super Thanks button. Your generosity helps us reach more souls, and that is where we must go next, into the place where this emotional imprint takes on its most painful form, the birth of shame, the moment the child begins to bend away from themselves in order to stay close to you. Let us move even deeper now into one of the most fragile moments in the life of a child. A moment so quiet, so hidden, that even the child does not know it is happening. And yet this single moment becomes the thread that weaves through their entire life, shaping how they see themselves, how they love, how they trust, how they fail, how they rise, and how they feel inside their own skin. And this moment is the birth of shame, not the loud shame that comes from punishment or humiliation. Everyone knows that is wrong. I am talking about the soft shame, the shame that grows when a child begins to believe that who they are is not enough, that something inside them must be changed, corrected, edited, silenced in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, in order to feel safe in the world of the parent. Shame does not arrive with a shout. Shame arrives with a whisper. It begins the first time a child expresses something natural: joy, anger, curiosity, wild energy, stillness, sadness, and the parent responds not with presence but with discomfort, with judgment, with resistance, with fear. The child does not think, Mama is having a hard day. The child does not think, Papa is tired. The child thinks, something is wrong with me. This is the tragedy. Children do not question the parent. They question themselves. The parent's reaction becomes the mirror in which the child sees their own worth. Imagine a small lamp glowing softly in a dark room. This lamp is the child's inner light, pure, warm, untouched by the world. It shines simply because it is its nature to shine. It does not ask for permission. Then imagine someone placing a thin cloth over this lamp. The light dims just a little. Then another cloth and another. Not all at once, but slowly, moment by moment, with each subtle correction, with each disapproving look, with each sigh of frustration, with each moment the parent rejects a part of the child's natural expression. Don't be loud. One cloth, don't be silly. Another cloth, don't be sensitive. Another, don't be messy. Don't be too excited. Don't cry. Don't laugh like that. Don't talk like that. Don't dream like that. And the child learns not to shine, but to dim. This is how shame is born. Not through punishment, but through the subtle suggestion that the child's authentic self is inconvenient, embarrassing, or unacceptable. A parent may think they are just guiding, training, shaping behavior, but the child feels something far more personal, a tightening, a shrinking, a sense of being wrong in their very being. Let me give you an example again, but look deeper this time. A child holds up a drawing full of wild shapes and strange colors. They are proud, they are glowing, they are ready to share a piece of their soul. And the parent says, why didn't you stay inside the lines? Why did you use these colors? You need to try harder to make it look like the picture. The child does not hear advice on art. The child hears, my expression is wrong, my instinct is wrong, and a thin cloth of shame settles over the light. The glow fades a fraction. Another example. A child runs across the house laughing loudly, full of life, full of joy. The parent, overwhelmed by noise and work and stress, says sharply, stop that, you're too much, you are giving me a headache. And the child freezes. Something inside recoils. They do not understand boundaries. They understand rejection. They learn that their joy can disturb love. They learn that their aliveness is a burden to the one they love most. And another cloth descends, or a child cries because they feel hurt, confused, overwhelmed. And the parent says, stop crying, there's nothing to cry about. Big kids don't cry, be strong. The child learns not that emotions are natural, but that emotions are shameful, that weakness is a sin. And so begins the split inside them. the split between what they feel and what they show, between their inner truth and their outer behavior. This split becomes the seed of lifelong emotional struggle. The child creates a mask, a false self, a self that is polite, quiet, obedient, clean, and successful, a self that you will love. But behind the mask, the real child is lonely. Behind the mask, the real child is suffocating. But the deepest shame arises not from criticism, but from praise. Yes, praise. This is something very few understand. We think praise is always good. Good job, you are so smart, you are the best. But when a child is praised only for certain behaviors, only for certain successes, only for certain traits, a dangerous message enters the heart. I am loved only when I am this way. The child starts performing for approval. They hide the parts of themselves that won't please you. They hide their failures. They hide their fears. And the praise that was meant to support them becomes the cage that traps them. The child thinks, if I stop winning, will they still love me? If I stop being the good girl, will I still have a place here? This is why I say both criticism and praise can create shame. Criticism says, you are wrong. Praise says, you must stay this way to be right. Neither of them allows the child to simply be. Slowly, slowly, the child learns to abandon pieces of themselves. They tuck away their curiosity. They silence their questions. They soften their laughter. They hold back their tears. They adjust their personality like a mask they wear for you. They become experts in reading your mood, your tone, your desires. They learn to behave, not to be. And the most heartbreaking part is this. The child believes they are doing all this for love, for safety, for connection. They believe that hiding their true self is the price they must pay to stay close to you. This is the birth of shame. The moment a child trades authenticity for attachment, and every adult who struggles with insecurity, with self-doubt, with anxiety, with the fear of disappointing others, with the pain of feeling not enough, all of them began with this same moment, this silent trade, this quiet bending of the soul. But life is generous, awareness is healing. And once you see how shame is born, you can also see how it can be dissolved, because the opposite of shame is not pride. The opposite of shame is space. Space to feel, space to express, space to be, space to exist without correction. If you are ready to create this space, if you are ready to lift the cloths from the lamp, I have created resources to help you. Our ebooks are designed to guide you back to your own center so you can guide your child. You will find the link in the description. Your support through the join button also allows us to keep this wisdom free for all who need it. And the first step toward giving a child this space is understanding what happens when you allow them to be themselves without interruption. And that is where we must go next, to the power of allowing, to the art of giving the child the freedom to grow without shaping, without pressure, without the shadow of your past. Now we step into a new field, a field so open, so spacious, that at first it may feel unfamiliar to the mind of a parent, because parents are trained by their own parents, by society, by fear, to believe that good parenting is constant shaping, constant correcting, constant improving, constant molding, as if the child were a piece of clay in their hands that would become a blob if they stopped touching it. But allowing is the very opposite of all this. Allowing is not shaping the child. It is giving the child the room to grow from within. Like a seed that already knows how to become a tree, without any instruction, without any coaching, without any pressure. And once you understand this, once you feel the depth of allowing, you will see that the child becomes healthier, wiser, more confident, and more alive when you step back, breathe, and give them the space to unfold in their own time. Allowing is one of the highest forms of love, yet it is the least practiced because the mind of the parent is full of fear. Fear says, if I don't interfere, my child will go wrong. Fear says, if I don't control, everything will fall apart. Fear says, I must shape this child or the world will shape them harshly. But fear does not understand the nature of life. Life is not something you sculpt. Life is something you nourish. A gardener does not pull a flower open. A gardener does not stretch a branch. A gardener does not command the tree to grow faster. A gardener simply creates the right conditions, sunlight, soil, water, and the tree grows on its own, with its own wisdom, its own timing, its own direction. This is the essence of allowing, trusting the inner intelligence of the child more than your own fear. Imagine a flower, its petals are closed, it is a bud. If you force them open with your fingers because you want to see the beauty now, the flower dies. You destroy it in your eagerness. If you wait, if you trust, the petals unfold by themselves when the sun touches them. A child is the same. They unfold, they bloom, they discover, they fall, they rise, they touch, they taste, they explore. And each moment, life itself is teaching them. You think you are the teacher, but life is the real teacher. Gravity is a teacher. Heat is a teacher. Friendship is a teacher. Disappointment is a teacher. You are the guide only when your guidance does not interfere with the child's connection to life. Let me give you a picture. A child is playing with paint, red on blue, blue on green, hands full of color, table full of color, face full of color. It is a disaster in the eyes of a clean house. And the parent, seeing the mess, says, stop, be careful, don't spill, don't mix, don't do that. The child stops, not because they learned cleanliness. No, they learned caution. They learned that their natural joy, their natural exploration, their natural curiosity is too much for you to handle. They learned that the carpet is more important than their creativity. But imagine another scene. The parent watches with a soft smile, lets the child sink their fingers into paint, lets them discover how colors blend, how texture moves, how art is born from chaos. The parent thinks, I can wipe the table later, I can clean the floor later, I can wash the stains later, but I can never give back this moment of discovery. In that moment, the parent allows a soul to expand, and the child grows not only in creativity but in confidence, in freedom, in the feeling, I am welcome here, my expression is welcome here. Allowing teaches a child that the world is not always restrictive, not always demanding, not always judging. It teaches them that there is room to breathe, to try, to fail, to try again, to make noise, to be quiet, to be silly, to be serious, to be themselves without shrinking. And when a child feels this way in the presence of a parent, they develop an inner trust, a trust in themselves, a trust in life, a trust that says, I can move through this world without fear. But let us go deeper, because allowing is not laziness. Many parents mistake this. They think, oh, Osho says allow, so I will sit on the sofa and watch TV while my child burns the house down. No, that is negligence, that is unconsciousness. Allowing is not absence. It is presence without pressure. It is attention without interference. It is love without the desire to control. When you allow, you are watching. You are fully there. But you are watching not with anxiety, but with curiosity. You are not waiting to correct. You are waiting to learn. You are waiting to learn who this child truly is, what their nature wants to express, what direction their being wants to move in. And when you witness the child this way, the child begins to witness themselves the same way. They begin to trust their impulses. They begin to trust their thoughts. They begin to trust their desires. They begin to trust their voice. And this trust becomes the foundation of self-esteem. Let me show you a simple moment that happens in the park. A child is climbing a small hill. It is steep for their little legs. They are climbing carefully, slowly, with wobbling legs. The parent, full of love, rushes forward, holds the child's arms and says, "Be careful, don't fall, let me help," and pushes them to the top. And the child feels two things: fear, the hill is dangerous, and incapability, I cannot do this alone. But imagine another parent standing close, watching silently, ready to catch if there is a real danger, but not interfering with the struggle. The child climbs, the child slips, the child tries again, the child finds their footing, the child finds balance. And when they reach the top, they feel something no lecture can teach. They feel, I did it, I am capable. This is the power of allowing. Not the absence of care, but the presence of trust. Allowing creates a bond that is deeper than obedience, deeper than behavior, deeper than performance. It creates authenticity. The child becomes real. The child becomes themselves. And when a child feels safe enough to be themselves with you, they will grow into an adult who feels safe enough to be themselves in the world. And yet allowing alone is not enough, because for allowing to work, the parent must possess a rare capacity, the capacity to see the child as they truly are, not as an extension of themselves, not as a reflection of their own unfulfilled dreams, not as a vessel for their hopes, not as a canvas for their fears, but as a unique consciousness, a mystery, a soul. And that brings us to the next step, a step even more subtle, even more transformative, seeing the child clearly without the fog of your own mind. Now we come to one of the most sacred moments in the whole journey of parenting. A moment so delicate, so subtle, that it can only happen when the mind becomes quiet and the heart becomes open. Because to truly see a child is not to look at their face, it is not to listen to their words, it is not to observe their behavior, it is to enter a deeper dimension where you can sense their being without forcing your own dreams onto it. And this kind of seeing is rare, so rare that most children grow up never being seen even once in their whole lives. They grow up surrounded by love, yes, but not presence. Surrounded by care, yes, but not clarity. Surrounded by protection, yes, but not understanding. And because they are not truly seen, they grow into adults who are strangers to themselves, always searching for approval, always trying to fit into a picture that never belonged to them in the first place. To see a child as they truly are, you must first realize how easily the mind projects. The mind is constantly throwing images forward, like a movie projector throwing light onto a screen. You look at the child, but you do not see the child. You see the movie playing in your own head. The movie is titled The Perfect Child, and the script is written by your society, your neighbors, your ego, and your fear. The script says the child should be strong, the child should be successful, the child should be calm, the child should be bold, the child should be disciplined, the child should be social, the child should be spiritual, the child should be talented. These shoulds are pollutants. They are like smog in the air. They cloud your vision. They turn the child into a mirror for your hopes and fears. And once you look through this cloudy lens, everything becomes distorted. You stop seeing the child. You see only your imagination. Imagine a clear mirror. When you stand before it, you see your true reflection, simple, honest, untouched. But imagine that same mirror covered with dust. Now when you look, you see smudges, shadows, shapes that do not actually exist. The child is the mirror. Your mind is the dust. And unless you clean your lens, unless you wipe away the expectations, you will never see the brilliance, the softness, the strength, the innocence, the wildness, the uniqueness of the child before you. Seeing the child means letting go of your dreams for them. This sounds hard, I know. You want the best for them. But your best is often a prison. Letting go of your dreams for them means letting go of your fears for them. Letting go of the idea that you know who they should be. Because the truth is, the child comes into this world with their own blueprint. They are not a blank slate for you to write on. They carry their own inner music, their own direction, their own fragrance. They are not yours to shape, they are theirs to discover. And your role is not to design their path. Your role is to clear the path so they can walk freely. Let me give you a picture that may stay with you for the rest of your life. Imagine walking into a garden, a wild, beautiful garden filled with flowers of every color, red, yellow, violet, blue, white. Each flower is different. Some are tall, standing proud against the sky. Some are small, hiding near the earth. Some bloom early in the morning. Some bloom late in the evening. Some need direct burning sunlight. Some need cool, quiet shade. And you, as the gardener, do not decide which flower should be tall. You do not stand in front of the violet and say, "Why are you not a sunflower? Why are you so small? Stretch, be yellow." That would be insanity. You simply observe, you water, you care, but you never interfere with their nature. Because the moment you interfere, the flower begins to lose its natural growth. If you pull the violet to make it tall, you kill it. The child is exactly like this. Each one has their own timing, their own rhythm, their own essence. And only a parent who sees without projection can protect this essence. But look at what happens in the home. It is a tragedy of misunderstanding. Let me offer a real moment that happens in every home. A child sits on the floor drawing something strange, something the adult mind cannot understand. Maybe a shape that looks like nothing, a color combination that makes no sense, a creature that exists only in the child's imagination. The parent asks, "What is this?" But the tone is not curious, the tone is skeptical. The child, feeling the weight of expectation, feeling the judgment in the air, says softly, "I don't know." They retreat, they close the door. But the truth is, the child does know. They know exactly. They are expressing something wordless, something deep, something that cannot yet be translated into the narrow box of adult language. They are expressing a feeling, a dream, a sensation. And if the parent simply sits, watches, smiles, and says, "Show me more," the child's world opens, their creativity expands, their confidence bursts into bloom. They feel, "My inner world is safe to share." But if the parent says, "This doesn't look right," or "Why didn't you draw something real?" or "Can you draw it better?" then the child closes, not just the drawing, they close their inner world, they close their imagination, they close their trust. They learn that their inner reality is not valid until it looks like the outer reality you approve of. Another picture. A child is quiet, thoughtful, slow to act. They sit in the corner while other children run and scream. The parent worries. The parent compares. Look at Johnny, he is so active. Look at Sarah, she is so social. The parent pushes. The parent says, be more social, speak louder, move faster, join others, don't be shy. But listen to me. The child is not shy. You have labeled them shy because they do not fit your speed. The child is observant. The child is not weak. The child is deep. The child is not slow. The child is reflective. They are processing the world with a sensitivity you have forgotten. But the parent misreads their nature and tries to change it. They try to speed up a slow river, and the child grows into an adult who apologizes for their softness, who doubts their depth, who suppresses their natural rhythm to fit into a world that never understood them. They walk around feeling guilty for being who they are. Seeing the child means listening with your whole being, not just with your ears. Ears only hear words. You must listen with your heart, not to their words, but to the silence behind their words, not to their behaviors, but to the longing behind those behaviors, not to their mistakes, but to the courage behind their attempts. A child speaks in many languages. Movement is a language. Silence is a language. Tears are a language. Laughter is a language. Drawings are a language. Questions are a language. Restlessness is a language. Stillness is a language. Each expression is a doorway into their world. If you can learn to see without judgment, without hurry, without the need to fix or improve, something extraordinary begins to happen. The child starts to reveal themselves. They drop the mask. They show you their fears, their gifts, their desires, their unique way of seeing life. They trust you with their inner world, and this trust becomes the foundation of a lifelong relationship rooted not in obedience, but in presence, not in fear, but in freedom. You become not just a parent, but a friend, a spiritual friend. If you are feeling a pull in your heart to become this kind of parent, this kind of friend to your child, I invite you to join our community. Click the join button below. By becoming a member, you support the spread of this consciousness. And if these words are serving you, consider a super thanks. It is a way to balance the energy of receiving with giving. But this clear seeing is not easy. I will not lie to you. It is the hardest thing in the world, because to see the child clearly, you must also see yourself clearly. You must understand the emotional world you bring into the home. You must understand where your own reactions come from. You must understand how your past shapes your present. And only when you understand this can you truly meet the child as they are. Which means the next step on this journey is perhaps the most important one of all. The inner work of the parent, the courage to look within, the willingness to meet your own unfinished childhood. Now we come to the most difficult, the most transformative, the most courageous step in this whole journey. Without this step, nothing truly changes, nothing truly heals. You can read all the books, you can learn all the techniques, but if you do not do this, you will remain a robot. Because everything we have spoken about so far, love becoming pressure, guidance becoming control, fear hiding inside care, projection clouding your vision, shame growing in the child, each one of these is rooted not in your present, but in your past, in the unhealed places you carry inside yourself, in the echoes of your own childhood that still speak through you, through your voice, through your reactions, through the energy you bring into the room. And unless you are willing to look at your own past with open eyes and a soft heart, unless you are willing to turn inward and meet the child you once were. You will continue to repeat the same unconscious behaviors. No matter how much you love, no matter how much you wish to change, because the past lives in you until you see it. It is like a ghost in the machine. You want to go right, but the ghost steers you left. You want to be patient, but the ghost makes you angry. Who is this ghost? It is you, the younger you, the wounded you. I want you to imagine something with me very slowly, as if you are walking through a quiet corridor inside your own mind. It is dim, it is long, and it is full of doors. Behind every reaction you have toward your child, behind every moment of frustration, behind every impulse to correct or control, behind every fear that rises when your child does something unexpected, behind every urge to shape their future, behind every moment of impatience, there is a memory. Maybe it is obvious, maybe you know it, maybe it is hidden, maybe it is something you remember clearly, maybe it is something you have buried so deeply that you have forgotten it ever happened. But it lives in you, it breathes through you, it awakens whenever the child in front of you touches the child inside you. This is why parenting can feel overwhelming. You are not only dealing with the present moment, you are not just dealing with a spilled glass of milk. You are dealing with your entire childhood at the same time. The child you once were sits inside you still, waiting, longing for the love you did not receive, longing to express the words you were never allowed to speak, longing to release the fear you had to hide, longing to feel seen, accepted, understood. And when your own child appears before you with their freedom, their wildness, their vulnerability, their needs, it triggers the old wounds that were never healed. It is like a match striking a box. Flash. You react not to the child, but to the memory. You respond not to what is happening, but to what once happened inside you. Let me show you how this mechanism works. A parent who grew up in a home where mistakes were punished, where a broken cup meant a broken heart, where a bad grade meant a week of silence, will struggle deeply when their child makes a mess. Not because the mess is important, a mess is just a mess, it can be cleaned, but because it triggers the old fear of being punished. The parent's heart races, the parent feels panic, and that panic comes out as anger at the child. Why are you so clumsy? The parent thinks they are teaching the child to be careful. No, the parent is trying to quiet their own internal terror. A parent who was shamed for expressing emotions, who was told, stop crying or don't be a baby, will find it difficult to sit calmly when their child cries loudly. The sound of the cry cuts them like a knife, not because the crying is wrong, but because it awakens the memory of their own forbidden tears. It reminds them of the pain of swallowing their own sadness. So they say to the child, stop it. They are not silencing the child, they are trying to silence the memory. A parent who was never allowed to rest, who had to work, achieve, perform to be loved, will become anxious when their child relaxes, plays, or moves slowly. They will see the child lying on the grass, looking at clouds, and they will feel a spike of anxiety. He is wasting time, he will amount to nothing. Not because the child is doing anything harmful, but because the parent learned long ago that rest equals danger, that rest equals rejection, so their body reacts automatically. Do you see how powerful the past is? You think you are teaching your child how to live, but very often you are only teaching them how you survived. You are handing them your survival map, but the terrain has changed. They do not need your map, they need your love. You think you are guiding them, but very often you are guiding the echoes of your own pain. You think you are shaping them for their future, but very often you are recreating your own upbringing. Sometimes the very parts you swore you would never repeat. This is why awareness is the key. Without awareness, you are a slave to the past. With awareness, you become a master of the present. When you become aware of your triggers, you begin to see that your reactions are not truth. They are old stories. When you observe your impulses, you begin to realize they are not wisdom, they are memories. And when you can watch your emotions rise without acting on them, you create space between your past and your child, space between fear and love, space between the wound and the response. This space is where healing begins. In that space, you have a choice. Do I react like my father did, or do I respond like the parent I want to be? Let me give you a picture that may touch you deeply. Imagine an old shadow on a wall. It is dark, it looks scary, it looks like a monster. You know it is just a shadow, you know it cannot harm you. But when the light is dim, when you are tired, when the house is quiet, the shadow feels alive. It feels real. Your childhood is this shadow. It follows you, not to punish you. It does not hate you. It follows you to be seen, to be understood, to be released. It is asking for your attention. And when you turn toward it with curiosity instead of fear, something miraculous happens. The shadow begins to dissolve. It loses its power. It stops controlling your behavior. It stops whispering in your ear. And in that moment, you become free. Not only free for yourself, but free for your child. Because when you meet your own past, when you face the wounds you carry, when you soothe the child inside you, you stop passing the story forward. You stop transmitting your pain into the next generation. You break the chain. You end the cycle. You become the first one in your family line to say, "This ends with me." The anger stops here, the silence stops here, the shame stops here. My child will not carry this backpack. This is the greatest legacy you can leave. Not money, not a house, but a clean emotional lineage. And when you do this inner work, when you meet your past with compassion, the next truth becomes visible. Something inside you begins to soften. The need to control becomes lighter. The fear that hides in your chest begins to melt, and you discover that letting go is not a loss. Letting go is freedom. Letting go is the bridge between your healing and your child's growth. And that is where we must go next. Into the art of letting go, into the beauty of releasing the tight grip you've been taught to hold, so that your child and your own heart can finally breathe. Now we enter a very gentle but very powerful space, a space where something inside you that has been tight for many years can finally begin to loosen, where the old tension that has lived in your chest, in your breath, in your hands, in your voice, can start to melt like ice under the sun. Because once you have met your own past, once you have seen how your childhood whispers through your reactions, the next step is a step you must take not with effort, but with surrender, the step of letting go of control. And I want you to understand this slowly, deeply, with your whole being, because control has been misunderstood for so long that parents believe it is a form of love. They think, if I control, I care. But I say to you, control is not love. Control is fear pretending to be love. Control is the mind trying to protect the heart from what it does not trust. And when a parent controls a child, they are not protecting the child. They are protecting their own fear. For those of you who feel the truth of this, who feel the grip of control in your own life and wish to loosen it, our ebooks offer deep, practical meditations to help you surrender. You can find them in the description. And if you value this message of freedom, please click like and share this video with a parent you love. Your support builds this community. Letting go of control does not mean walking away. It does not mean I don't care. It does not mean leaving the child alone in the dark. It does not mean becoming passive or careless or distant. Letting go is not about absence. It is about presence. It is about standing with the child without standing on the child. It is about guiding without gripping. It is about caring without carving. It is about allowing without abandoning. True letting go has nothing to do with giving up and everything to do with giving space. Control always comes from the same place: fear. Fear says if I don't guide them, they will fail. Fear says if I don't push them, they will fall behind. Fear says if I loosen my grip, everything will fall apart. Fear says the world is dangerous and I must protect them from everything. But the strange thing is that this fear is not about the child at all. It is about your own wounded past, your own experiences of helplessness, your own memories of being shaped, corrected, punished, silenced, pressured. Control is the armor you build to survive, and now you place that armor on the child, believing it will keep them safe. But the armor is heavy, it is made of iron, and the child cannot run freely wearing your past. They stumble under its weight. Let me give you a picture. Imagine holding a small bird in your hand. It is delicate. It is alive. If you hold too tightly, if you close your fist, the bird cannot breathe, its wings cannot open, its heart begins to panic. You kill the very life you wanted to hold. But if you hold too loosely, if you open your hand completely without awareness, the bird may fall. The art is in the middle, to hold with enough care that the bird knows you are there, but with enough trust that the bird knows it can fly. This is letting go. It is not losing the child. It is trusting the child's inner strength. When you let go of control, you give the child a message they rarely hear in this world, a message more precious than gold. You say to them, I trust you. These 3 words are more healing than any lesson, more powerful than any advice, more transformational than any rule. Because when you trust the child begins to trust themselves. And a child who trusts themselves grows into an adult who does not collapse in the face of life, who does not shrink in fear, who does not doubt every decision. They grow strong because they grew free. Let me show you another small moment that reveals so much. A child tries to pour water into a cup. They are small. Their hands shake. The bottle is heavy. Some water spills on the table. The parent watching immediately rushes in. No, give it to me. Takes the bottle, pours it perfectly, and says, here, let me do it. You will make a mess. The intention was to help, but the child learns 2 things deeply. 1, I can't, and 2, you don't believe I can. The seed of doubt is planted, but if the parent waits, watches, lets a little water spill, it is only water, lets the child struggle a little, lets the child find the angle, lets the child succeed in their own time. The child learns, I can. And this simple moment becomes the seed of confidence. Or picture a child climbing a tree, slow and careful, learning their own balance. The parent shouts from the ground, get down, it's dangerous, you will break your leg. The parent projects catastrophe, and the child freezes, not because the tree was dangerous, but because the parent's fear became their fear. The child climbs down, heart pounding, not from the tree, but from the adult's panic, And without knowing why, the child grows into a person who fears adventure, who fears trying, who fears the unknown. They become safe, but they become dead. But imagine instead a parent standing close, ready to help but not controlling. The child climbs, the child slips a little. The parent says nothing, just watches with calm presence. The parent breathes, and the child learns life can be explored. I am safe to try. Control may create short-term obedience. It is very efficient for getting to school on time, but it creates long-term insecurity. The child learns to follow orders, but they do not learn to feel their own inner compass. They learn to avoid mistakes, but they do not learn to stand up after falling. They learn to obey authority, but they do not learn to trust their own intelligence. And a child raised in control becomes an adult who waits for permission to live. They are 40 years old, still waiting for daddy to say, "It's okay." Letting go teaches the opposite. It teaches resilience, it teaches independence, it teaches confidence, it teaches presence. It teaches the child that failure is part of growth, not something to fear. It teaches them that they are capable, that they are strong, that they can move through this world with courage. And when you let go, something beautiful happens in you as well. Have you noticed? When you control, you are tight. Your jaw is tight. Your shoulders are up to your ears. But when you let go, your breath becomes softer. Your shoulders relax. The tension you carried for years begins to dissolve. You stop living in the future, always worried, always planning, always predicting, and you return to the present moment, the only place where life actually exists, the only place where your child truly lives. You discover that parenting is not a battle to be won, it is not a project to be managed, it is a dance, it is a relationship, it is a shared journey. And now we stand at the end of this journey together. Yet it is not an ending at all, it is a return to the beginning, a return to the heart. Because everything you have heard, everything you have felt, everything you have remembered inside yourself through these words, it all brings you back to the same simple truth you carried before you ever became a parent, before you ever learned fear, before you ever absorbed the voices of the world. It brings you back to love, not love as effort, not love as duty, not love as expectation, but love as your natural state, the love that flows when you are unburdened, unarmored, unafraid, the love that simply shines like the sun, offering warmth without asking anything in return. Parenting, as the world has taught it, is full of noise. It is a marketplace of noise, advice, pressure, judgment, comparison, fear. You are told to shape the child, guide the child, control the child, discipline the child, prepare the child, design the child. It is endless doing. And in that noise, something essential was lost. The quiet presence of the parent who simply loves, who simply sees, who simply allows, who simply listens. But as we walked through these chapters together, something inside you began to soften like snow melting in spring, revealing the earth beneath. And now you can feel that what truly transforms a child is not your pressure, it is not your perfection, it is not your plans. It is your presence, your awareness, your unconditional love. Let us speak about this word, unconditional. It is used very easily. Everyone says, "I love my child unconditionally." But do you? Watch yourself. Watch yourself when the child breaks your favorite vase. Watch yourself when the child fails the exam. Watch yourself when the child screams in the supermarket and everyone is looking at you. Does the love remain the same, or does a shadow cross your face? Does a coldness enter your voice? If the love changes, if the love shrinks, if the love withdraws, then it was not unconditional. It was a bargain. It was a business deal. I will love you if you behave. I will love you if you make me proud. I will love you if you do not embarrass me. And the child knows the difference. The child feels the if like a thorn in the heart. The if destroys trust. The if creates anxiety, because if means love can be lost. And a love that can be lost is not a home, it is a battlefield. You are forcing the child to fight for your affection every single day. Real love has no if, real love has no because, it just is. It flows because it is your nature to flow, not because the child has earned it. The sun does not say to the tree, I will shine on you only if you grow straight. The sun shines on the crooked tree and the straight tree exactly the same. It is the nature of the sun to give light. It is not a calculation. Be a son to your child, not a judge. If you are realizing now how many ifs have been hiding in your love, do not judge yourself. That is just another trap. Simply see it. Awareness cleans the heart. And if you wish to deepen this cleansing, to remove the conditions you have placed on your own heart, our ebooks are tools designed for this very surgery of the soul. You can find them in the description. Your support through the join button helps us keep this light burning for all parents. When you drop the if, the child relaxes. Have you ever seen a child truly relax? It is a beautiful sight. Their shoulders drop, their eyes become soft, their breathing becomes deep. They stop performing, they stop defending, they return to their center, and in that center they are already perfect. You do not need to add anything to them. You do not need to fix them. You only need to enjoy them. Yes, enjoy. When was the last time you simply enjoyed your child? Not managed them, not taught them, not corrected them, but enjoyed them like you enjoy a sunset, like you enjoy a piece of music, just sitting with them, watching them play, listening to their nonsense words, feeling the joy of their existence. This enjoyment is the highest food for the child's soul. When a child feels, my mother enjoys my presence, my father delights in me, they grow a spine of steel. They feel worthy of existence. They feel I am good, I am a gift to this world. But most parents are too busy to enjoy. They are too busy worrying about tomorrow. I cannot enjoy him now. I have to prepare him for college. He is 3 years old, but the mind of the parent is already 20 years in the future. You sacrifice the today for a tomorrow that never comes. And in doing so, you miss the child who is here. The child is always here. The child is always in the present moment. The child is the Zen master you have been looking for. You go to India, you go to the Himalayas, you look for a guru to teach you how to be present. And the guru is sitting in your living room playing with a cardboard box. The child is alert. The child is total. When the child cries, they cry 100%. When the child laughs, they laugh 100%. They do not hold back. They are not split. You are the one who is split. You are the one who is half here, half in the office, half in the past, half in the future. You are the one who needs to learn. So I say to you, turn the relationship upside down. Do not think you are the teacher and they are the student. No, in the art of living, they are the masters and you have forgotten. Let them lead you back to life. Let them lead you back to wonder. Watch how a child looks at a ladybug. They look with total absorption. The whole world disappears. Only the red shell and the black dots exist. That is meditation. That is the highest state of consciousness. And you come along and say, hurry up, put it down, it's dirty, let's go. You interrupt the meditation. You pull them out of heaven and drag them into your hell of hurry. Stop, breathe, sit with them. Look at the ladybug, become a child again. Jesus said, unless you become like little children, you cannot enter the kingdom of God. He was right. The kingdom of God is not a place you go to after you die. It is a quality of being you enter when you drop your knowledge, your seriousness, your ego. And parenting is the greatest door to this kingdom, if you allow it. If you stop trying to be the big boss and start being a companion. Imagine a home where the parent admits, I don't know. A child asks, where does the moon go in the morning? And instead of giving a dusty scientific answer from a book, the parent says, I don't know. It is a mystery. What do you think? And suddenly the hierarchy dissolves. You are two souls wandering at the universe together. The burden of being the all-knowing authority falls off your shoulders. You can just be human, you can be vulnerable, and children love vulnerability. They trust it. When you say, I am sad today, the child understands. When you say, I made a mistake, I am sorry, the child respects you. They do not lose respect when you are human, they lose respect when you are fake. When you pretend to be perfect, they know you are lying, and that lie creates a distance. Be real. That is the only guidance they need. If you are real, they will learn to be real. If you are honest, they will learn to be honest. If you respect yourself, they will learn to respect themselves. You do not need to lecture. Your being is the lecture. Your life is the lesson. If this message of authenticity resonates with you, if you are tired of wearing the mask of the perfect parent, please click the like button. It is a signal that you are ready to be real. And for those who can, a super thanks is a beautiful way to honor this teaching and help it reach others who are still hiding behind their masks. And this brings us to the final understanding, the understanding of the circle of life. You were once the child, you were the one who was shaped, trimmed, and compressed. You carried that pain. Now you have a child, and you have a choice. You can pass the pain on like a baton in a relay race. Here, take my fear, take my anger, take my unlived dreams, run with them. Or you can drop the baton, you can let it fall to the ground. You can say, no more. It takes courage, it takes fire. It is the warrior's path. To stand in front of your ancestors and say, I honor you, but I will not repeat you. To stand in front of your child and say, I love you, so I will not bind you. When you do this, you heal not only the child, you heal the child in you. Every time you give your child freedom, the child inside you breathes a little deeper. Every time you listen to your child without judgment, the child inside you feels heard. Every time you allow your child to cry without shaming them, the frozen tears inside you begin to melt. Parenting becomes a therapy, the deepest therapy. It is a second chance. Life is giving you a second childhood. You cannot go back in time and fix what happened to you, but you can live it differently now through your child. You can give them what you hungered for, and in the giving, you receive. This is the secret law of the heart. What you give to another, you give to yourself. When you free your child, you free yourself. When you love your child unconditionally, you learn to love yourself unconditionally. You begin to see that you too are worthy. You too are enough. You too do not need to perform to be loved. The harsh voice of your own parents, which has lived in your head for 40 years, begins to fade, and a new voice takes its place, a voice of kindness, a voice of acceptance. So do not look at parenting as a burden. Oh, I have to sacrifice so much. No, it is a privilege. It is a fire that burns away your ego and leaves only gold. It is a mirror that shows you your face so you can clean it. But you must be awake. You must be watchful. The sleep is deep. The habits are old. The world is pulling you back into unconsciousness every moment. The school, the television, the neighbors, the grandparents. Everyone will tell you, control him, shape him, make him fit in. You will need strength to stand alone. You will need a community of conscious souls to remind you when you forget. That is why we are here. That is why this channel exists. Not to give you more rules, but to remind you of your own wisdom. And now, as we approach the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a vision of what is possible. Imagine a world where children are not raised out of fear. Imagine a generation that has not been shamed. Imagine young people who do not need to spend their 20s and 30s healing from their childhoods. They would be a different species. They would be whole. They would be creative. They would be loving without clinging. They would be intelligent without arrogance. They would be happy without reason. This is not a utopia. This is possible, and it starts in your living room. It starts at your breakfast table. It starts when your child spills the milk. In that moment, that small, wet, messy moment, you have the power to change the world. You can yell, or you can laugh, you can shame, or you can help, you can react from the past, or you can respond from the present. The revolution is not in the streets, the revolution is in your home, the revolution is in your heart, and you are ready. I know you are ready. Otherwise, you would not be here. You would not have listened for so long. The part of you that is tired of the old way is calling out. Listen to it. Trust it. You have the seed of a Buddha inside you. You have the capacity to be a conscious parent. It is not a skill you learn, it is a remembrance. Remember who you are. Remember who your child is. Two souls traveling together for a little while. Make the journey beautiful, make it light, make it a celebration. And now for the final step. The step that seals this understanding and turns it into a lived reality, the step of trusting life. We have spoken of trusting the child. We have spoken of letting go of control. But ultimately, you cannot do this unless you trust life itself, unless you believe that this universe is not an accident, that it is not hostile, that it holds you. If you believe the universe is a war, you will raise your child to be a soldier. You will armor them. You will harden them. But if you believe, if you feel that existence is a home, that we are supported, that there is an intelligence far greater than our small minds moving everything, then you can relax. You can stop trying to play God. You can resign from the job of general manager of the universe. You can just be a gardener. The flowers bloom without you. The stars shine without you. The child breathes without you. Life is taken care. Why are you so worried? Why are you carrying such a heavy load? Drop it, just for a moment. Drop the worry. Drop the what-ifs. Drop the plan. Look at your hands, they are empty. And in that emptiness, there is freedom. In that emptiness, there is space for love to enter. If you are feeling this lightness, if you are feeling the burden lift, then this message has reached its destination. But do not let it fade. Awareness is like a muscle. If you do not use it, it weakens. Keep coming back to this space. Keep reminding yourself. We have prepared a path for you to stay connected. By clicking join, you keep this voice close to you. By reading the e-books in the description, you feed your mind with truth instead of fear. By giving a super thanks, you participate in the cycle of gratitude. We are almost there. We have walked a long road today, from the mistake of unconscious love, through the cage of control, past the shadow of the past, into the light of allowing, and now standing on the threshold of trust. There is just one last thing I must tell you. One last secret that locks all of this into place. A secret about you, not you the parent, but you the individual, you the soul. Because you cannot pour from an empty cup, you cannot give what you do not have. If you are miserable, you will give misery to your child. If you are frustrated, you will give frustration. You can fake a smile, but the vibration will be frustration. So the greatest gift you can give your child is your own happiness, your own fulfillment, your own meditation. Do not be a martyr. A martyr is a heavy person to live with. A martyr sucks the oxygen out of the room. If you sacrifice everything for your child, if you give up your hobbies, your friends, your passions, your silence, your joy, you will eventually resent the child. You may not say it, but the energy will be there. And one day, when the child wants to go their own way, you will say, perhaps in words, perhaps in tears, perhaps in silence, I gave my life for you. How can you leave me? How can you disobey me? And this is a chain. You have bound the child with your sacrifice. The greatest parents are those who are selfish. Yes, selfish. I use this word deliberately to shock you, because you have been taught that selfishness is a sin. But I say to you, unless you love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. Unless you are overflowing with your own joy, you have nothing to give. If you are empty and you try to give, you are only begging. You are begging for love from your child to fill your emptiness, and that is a reversal of nature. The parent must be the source, the overflowing fountain. The child is the receiver, but if the fountain is dry, the child dies of thirst. So, take time for yourself, dance, paint, meditate, go for a walk, sit in silence, nourish your own soul. When you come back to the child after an hour of deep nourishment, you bring a fresh breeze into the house. You bring a light, you bring a laughter that is not forced. And the child feels it. The child thinks, Mom is happy, Dad is happy, the world is a safe place. Your happiness is their security, your fulfillment is their permission to be fulfilled. If you are miserable, even if you are smiling, the child feels the misery, and they think life is a struggle, adulthood is a trap, I should not grow up. Have you seen how many children today do not want to grow up? They look at you, they look at your stress, your worry, your sacrifice, and they say, no thank you, I will stay a child. Show them that adulthood is a celebration. Show them that life gets better, deeper, richer. Be the proof that life is worth living. That is the only teaching that matters. If you are ready to reclaim your own life, not just for you, but for your child, show your commitment by clicking the like button. It is a vow to yourself. And for those who wish to support this channel as we continue to break these old patterns, the Super Thanks button is a way to give back energy to the source. And now I want to talk about a concept that is very ancient yet very forgotten, the concept of the child as a guest. Khalil Gibran, a beautiful poet, said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself." This is the truth. They came through you, but they do not belong to you. Imagine a stranger comes to your house, a guest, a very special guest sent by God. How do you treat them? Do you try to change their clothes? Do you tell them how to eat? Do you tell them what to think? Do you boss them around? No. You are polite. You are attentive. You serve them. You make them comfortable. You listen to their stories. You honor their presence. You know they will not stay forever. They are here for a few days, a few years, and then they will move on. Your job is to be a good host. Treat your child like this guest. Right now, you treat your child like property. My child like my car, my house. And because it is mine, I can do what I want with it. I can paint it red, I can change the engine, I can park it where I want. But the child is not property. The child is a soul, a universe, a guest. If you change your attitude from owner to host, everything changes. The tension disappears. The respect arises. You stop trying to mold them and start trying to know them. Who is this guest that has arrived in my home? What gifts do they bring? What strange lands do they come from? You become curious, and when the parent is curious, the child feels seen. But to be a host, you must be spacious. You cannot be crowded with your own ego. You must step back. The host does not sit in the best chair. The host offers the best chair to the guest. The host does not eat first. The host serves the guest. This does not mean you become a servant in a lowly way. It means you serve the potential of the child. You serve their growth. You serve their freedom. And remember, the guest will leave. That is the nature of guests. If you hold on to the guest, if you lock the door and say, "You cannot leave, I cooked dinner for you," then the home becomes a prison and the host becomes a jailer. You must prepare them to leave. You must pack their bags with love, with confidence, with freedom. And when the day comes, you must open the door with a smile. Even if your heart is breaking, your face must smile and say, "Fly, the sky is yours." This is the ultimate test of the parent, the empty nest. If you have lived only for the child, the empty nest will destroy you. You will feel useless. You will feel discarded. You will try to manipulate them to come back, to call you every day, to need you. You will use guilt. "I am old, I am sick, come visit." But if you have lived for yourself as well, if you have kept your own garden watered, then the empty nest is a new freedom for you too. You say, "Ah, beautiful, they are flying. Now I can fly too. Now I can go deeper into my meditation. Now I can explore parts of myself I had to put aside." Then you and your child become friends, two adults, two free beings. And the love between two free beings is the highest love there is. It is not based on need. It is not based on dependency. It is a pure sharing. We are building a community of such free beings here. If you want to be part of this tribe, click join. Let us walk together, and check the description for the ebooks that can guide you through these transitions of life. Now let us look at the spiritual opportunity that parenting offers you. You think you are raising the child. I tell you, the child is raising you. The child is your Zen master. Every button they push is a button you need to heal. Every time they make you angry, they are showing you where you are not yet free. Every time they make you afraid, they are showing you where you do not yet trust life. Do not waste these moments. Do not just react and yell. Catch yourself. Aha, I am angry. Why? Is it really because he didn't eat his peas? Or is it because I feel powerless? Is it because I feel disrespected? Is it because I want control? Use the child as a mirror. Thank the child silently for showing you your madness. Without the child, you might have thought you were a saint. You might have thought you were very patient, very loving. The child reveals the truth. The child exposes the hypocrite in you, and that is a great gift. Only when you see the disease can you be cured. So parenting is a path to enlightenment. It is a fire. It burns. It is intense. It is 24 hours a day. There is no escape. You cannot resign. You cannot take a vacation from being a father or a mother. It is a relentless mirror. But if you use it, if you bring awareness to it, it will polish you. It will turn you into a diamond. You will learn patience, not the patience of suppressed anger, but the patience of understanding. You will learn compassion, not the compassion of duty, but the compassion of feeling another's heart. You will learn to play. You will rediscover the lost child inside you. Have you noticed, when you play with your child, really play, you forget your age, you forget your bank account, you forget your politics, you become timeless. That is a taste of eternity. So do not look for God in the temple. Do not look for God in the mosque. Look for God in the eyes of your child. Look for God in the chaos of your living room. Look for God in the sleepless nights. God is life. And life is happening right there in your home. This brings us to a practical point: how to handle the daily conflicts, the no, the tantrums, the rebellion. Listen closely. Rebellion is not bad. Rebellion is a sign of life. A dead sheep does not rebel. A machine does not rebel. Only a living spirit rebels. When your child says no, celebrate inwardly. Say, good. He has a backbone, he has a will, he is not a slave. Of course, you cannot let them run into traffic. You cannot let them harm themselves. You must provide a fence for safety. But inside the fence, let them be wild and make the fence as big as possible. Most parents make the fence very small. Don't sit like that. Don't wear that. Don't eat that. Don't say that. The fence is so tight the child cannot move. Widen the fence. Save your no for the things that really matter: life and death, kindness and cruelty, truth and lies. For everything else, try to say yes. Can I wear the red socks with the green pants? Yes. Who cares? It is not a fashion show. It is his life. Can I eat dessert before dinner? Once in a while? Yes. Why not? Break the rules, surprise them. Can I jump in the puddle? Yes, jump. In fact, jump with them. When you say yes more often, your no becomes powerful. If you say no to everything, your no is cheap. It is just background noise. But if you are a yes parent, then when you finally say no, the child stops. They think, Mom usually says yes. If she is saying no, there must be a good reason. They trust your judgment because you have honored their freedom. Be a yes parent. Yes is the word of life. No is the word of death. Yes opens, no closes. Yes bridges, no separates. God's answer to everything is yes. You want to be a sinner? God says yes. You want to be a saint? God says yes. You want to suffer? God says yes. You want to be happy? God says yes. Existence allows everything. Try to bring a little bit of that divine allowance into your parenting. If you are feeling the expansion of this yes in your heart, please express it by hitting the like button. It is a digital yes to the universe. And consider joining us as a member by clicking join. It is a way to say yes to this community. Now I want to address the teenagers, the time when the child begins to pull away. This is the hardest time for parents. The cute baby is gone. The adoring toddler is gone. Now there is a stranger in the house, a stranger who questions you, who challenges you, who maybe even hates you for a while. Do not panic. This is the labor pain of the second birth. The first birth was physical. The body left your body. The second birth is psychological. The identity leaves your identity. They must reject you to find themselves. It is not personal. It is necessary. If they do not reject you, they will remain children forever. They must push against you to test their strength. Be a wall they can push against, firm but not aggressive. Do not push back. Just stand there, let them push, let them shout, let them slam doors. Do not take it into your heart. Do not say, "How can he treat me this way after all I did?" That is the martyr speaking. Instead say, "Look at him. He is becoming a man. He is finding his voice. It is clumsy, it is loud, it is rude, but it is happening. Hold the space. Keep the door open. Do not chase them. If you chase, they run faster. If you withdraw in anger, they feel abandoned. Just stand there, like a lighthouse. The lighthouse does not run after the boat. The lighthouse stands on the rock and shines. When the boat is in trouble, when the storm comes, the boat looks for the light. Be the lighthouse, consistent, calm, available. They will come back, I promise you. When the storm of adolescence is over, when they have found their own feet, they will return, and they will return with gratitude. They will say, "Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for not destroying me when I was trying to destroy you." But you must have the patience of a mountain. You must have the deep roots of meditation. If you are easily shaken, you will crumble. This is why I say again and again, your inner work is the most important parenting tool, not books on discipline, not reward charts, not timeouts, but your own silence, your own stability. If you can remain centered when the teenager is screaming, you have won. Not won the argument, there is no winning arguments, but you have won the relationship. You have shown them what strength looks like. Strength is not shouting, strength is calm. And they are watching. They are always watching. They download your state of being. If you are a parent of a teenager, or will be one day, and you need support in this difficult passage, our ebooks offer specific meditations for remaining centered in the storm. Check the description, and your super thanks allows us to reach parents who are currently drowning in this storm. We are coming to the close of our transmission. But before we part, I want to weave all these threads into a single fabric. A fabric you can wrap around yourself on the hard days. We have spoken of many things, of the wound of unconscious love, of the mistake of projection, of the danger of control, of the birth of shame, of the power of allowing, of the gift of trust, of the parent as a host, of the child as a guest, of the necessity of your own happiness. But if you forget all of this, if you cannot remember the words, remember just one thing: connection before correction. Before you correct the child, connect with the child. Before you teach, touch. Before you direct, understand. If the connection is broken, nothing works. Your advice is poison. Your rules are rebellion. Your love is suspicious. If the connection is strong, everything works. Even your mistakes are forgiven. Even your anger is understood. Even your no is accepted. Focus on the connection, the bridge between hearts. How to build this bridge: eye contact, touch, listening without interrupting, playing without purpose, simply being there. It is so simple. We make it complicated because we are complicated. The mind loves problems. The heart knows only one solution: love, but not the love of the Hallmark card, not the sticky, sentimental love, but the love that is like the sky, vast, open, allowing clouds to come and go, yet remaining untouched. Be the sky for your child. The clouds will come, the storms will come, the tears will come, the anger will come. Let them pass. Do not become the cloud. Remain the sky, blue, infinite, unchanging, and in that vastness your child will learn to fly. I leave you with this blessing. May your home be a temple. May your parenting be a prayer. May your child be your teacher. And may you find in the chaos of raising a human being the silence of your own soul. This is not the end of the journey. It is only the beginning of a new way of walking. If you have walked with us this far, if you have felt the shift in your heart, please subscribe to this channel. We are a growing family of conscious beings. Click the notification bell so you do not miss the next step. Share this video with every parent you know. You do not know who is suffering in silence. You do not know who needs to hear this today. Be the messenger of light. Click join to deepen your commitment. Check the description for the tools we have created for you. And never forget, you are enough. You are the perfect parent for your child because you are the one existence chose. Trust that choice. Trust yourself. Trust the child. Enough for today. But I hear a lingering question in your heart, a question that often rises when the silence settles. You ask, Osho, this is all beautiful. This sounds like paradise. But we live in the world. We do not live in a monastery. The world is competitive. The world is harsh. The world is a rat race. If I raise my child this way, if I allow them to be soft, if I allow them to be wild, if I do not push them, how will they survive? Will they not be crushed? Will they not be left behind? This fear is the final defense of the ego. It is the argument of the mind that wants to go back to the old ways. I must be hard on my child to prepare them for a hard world. Let us look at this fear closely. Let us dissect it. You are afraid they will not survive. But look at the people who are surviving in your world. Look at the successful ones, the CEOs, the politicians, the wealthy, the powerful. Are they happy? Are they dancing? Are their eyes shining with peace? Or are they stressed, medicated, divorced, lonely, constantly running, constantly afraid of losing their position? They have survived, yes. They have succeeded, yes. But they have lost life. Do you want your child to be a successful corpse or a living, breathing, joyous human being? You say they must fit in, but fit in to what? To a sick society, to a madhouse. To fit into a sick society, you must become sick. To fit into a madhouse, you must become mad. I say to you, do not prepare your child to fit in. Prepare your child to stand out. Prepare your child to be an individual, because only the individual has the strength to change the world. If everyone fits in, the world stays the same, miserable, violent, greedy. You are worried about their future. But the future is not created by following the crowd. The future is created by the creators, the innovators, the dreamers, the ones who dared to think differently. And who are these people? They are the ones whose parents or life circumstances allowed them to keep their imagination intact. If you crush your child's spirit now to make them tough, you destroy the very quality that would make them truly successful. You destroy their creativity. You destroy their intuition. You destroy their ability to see solutions that others cannot see. A robot can be efficient. A robot can follow orders. A robot can work 18 hours a day. But a robot cannot love. A robot cannot enjoy. And the world is moving toward a time where robots will do the work of robots. What will be left for humans? Only those things that require a soul, empathy, art, connection, vision. So if you train your child to be a machine, you are making them obsolete. If you train your child to be a soul, you are making them indispensable. Do not be afraid of the world. The world respects strength, But real strength does not come from hardness. Real strength comes from flexibility. Look at the willow tree and the oak tree in a storm. The oak tree is hard, rigid, strong. It says, I will not bend. And when the wind is too strong, the oak breaks. The willow tree is soft, flexible, yielding. It says, I will dance with the wind. It bends to the ground. And when the storm passes, the willow rises again, unharmed. Teach your child to be the willow. That is true survival. That is true intelligence. And this brings us to one of the greatest poisons you feed your child, ambition. You tell them, be someone, be special, be the best. You put posters of famous people on their walls. You tell them stories of winners. And in doing so, you tell them a lie. You tell them that ordinary is bad, but life is mostly ordinary. Waking up is ordinary. Eating breakfast is ordinary. Walking to work is ordinary. Sleeping is ordinary. If you teach the child that only the extraordinary is valuable, they will be miserable for 99% of their life. They will always be chasing the peak, and they will miss the beauty of the valley. And I tell you, the valley is greener than the peak. The peak is cold, windy, lonely. You cannot live on the peak. You can only visit for a moment, but the valley has flowers, rivers, warmth, life. Teach your child the joy of being ordinary, the joy of doing small things with great love, the joy of cleaning the floor and making it a meditation, the joy of cooking a meal and making it an offering. If they become famous, fine. If they become rich, fine. It is a side effect, but it should not be the goal. If it is the goal, they will sell their soul to get it. And a rich man with no soul is the poorest beggar on earth. Drop your ambition. Your ambition is your unfulfilled ego trying to complete itself through your child. I did not become a doctor, so my son must become a doctor. This is violence. This is using a human being as a tool. Let them be. Maybe they are meant to be a carpenter. And if they are a happy carpenter, singing while they sand the wood, sleeping deeply at night, loving their work, are they not more successful than the doctor who hates his hospital, who drinks to forget his stress, who has ulcers and anxiety? Success is not measured by the bank account. Success is measured by the smile. Success is measured by the silence in the heart. If you agree that happiness is the true metric of success, click the like button. Let us redefine success together. And if you wish to support this redefinition, your super thanks is a powerful gesture. Now, let us speak of the tool used to enforce this ambition, comparison. You compare constantly. Look at your cousin. He gets straight A's. Why are you so lazy? Look at the neighbor's daughter. She plays the violin so beautifully. You only play video games. Comparison is a disease. It is a cancer to the soul. When you compare your child to another, you are rejecting your child. You are saying, you are not enough. I wish you were like him. And the child feels this rejection deeply. It creates a wound of jealousy. You think you are motivating them. If I compare him to the smart boy, he will work harder to be smart. No, he will not work harder. He will hate the smart boy, and he will hate himself, and he will hate you. Every individual is unique. Never compare. Can you compare a rose to a lotus? Can you say the rose is better or the lotus is better? No, they are different. They exist in different worlds. Your child is unique. There has never been anyone like them before, and there will never be anyone like them again. Enjoy their uniqueness. Do not ask them to be a copy. When you stop comparing, jealousy disappears from the home. Competition disappears. And when competition disappears, cooperation arises. But the school system, the factory of society, is built on comparison, grades, ranks, awards, gold stars. It is a system designed to create winners and losers. And I tell you, the losers suffer, but the winners suffer too. The loser suffers from inferiority. I am stupid. The winner suffers from anxiety. I must stay on top. I must not fall. Both are in hell. So what to do? You cannot take them out of the world. They have to go to school. You must be the antidote. You must be the medicine. When they come home from school, the factory of comparison, you must bring them back to the garden of acceptance. You must tell them, I don't care about your grades. I care about you. Did you enjoy learning? Did you ask a good question? Did you laugh today? Deprogram them. Every evening, wash away the dust of the school. Tell them it is a game. The grades are a game. Play the game, but do not think it is your worth. Your worth is intrinsic. You are valuable because you breathe, not because you passed a test. If you do this, they can survive the system. They can walk through the fire without being burned. They will have a shield, the shield of your unconditional acceptance. And now a deeper matter, the role of the father and the mother. I am not speaking of biology. I am speaking of energy, the masculine and the feminine. Every child needs both. The feminine energy, mother, is unconditional love. It says, I love you as you are. You don't have to do anything. Rest in me. This gives the child roots. It gives them the feeling of belonging. The earth is my mother. The masculine energy, father, is conditional love. Yes, I said conditional, but in a higher sense. It says, I love you and I challenge you. I want you to grow. I want you to reach. I want you to explore. This gives the child wings. If there is only mother, the child has roots but no wings. They become lazy, dependent, afraid to leave the nest. They want to stay in the womb forever. If there is only father, the child has wings but no roots. They become ambitious, driven, successful, but they have no home inside. They cannot rest. They are always flying, always striving until they burn out. You need both roots and wings. In the old days, the roles were fixed. Woman was mother, man was father. But now consciousness is evolving. You can be both. A single mother can be both. A single father can be both. But you must be aware. Am I giving too much comfort? Do I need to challenge him a little? Or am I pushing too hard? Does she need to just rest in my arms today? Balance the energies. Be the earth for their roots. Be the sky for their wings. Do not be a friend in the sense that you are equal peers. You are not peers. You have walked the path longer. You are a guide, but be a friendly guide, not a dictator. A dictator says, go that way. A guide says, I have walked that way and there are thorns. I have walked this way and there is water, but you choose. And if they choose the thorns, let them go, let them get scratched. Then be there with the bandage. Do not say, I told you so. I told you so is the ugliest sentence in the human language. It is pure ego. Look how smart I am. Look how stupid you are. Instead, say nothing. Just clean the wound. The silence will teach them. They will think, he knew, he warned me, I didn't listen, and yet he is helping me. He loves me. That lesson goes deep. Next time, they will listen, not out of obedience, but out of trust. If you are finding value in this balance of roots and wings, please join our channel. It helps us sustain this work. And check the description for ebooks on balancing masculine and feminine energies in parenting. Now, let us speak of discipline. You ask, Osho, without rules, will they not become wild animals? I tell you, there is a difference between discipline and control. Control is imposed from the outside. It is fear-based. Do this or I will hit you. Discipline means to learn. The word comes from disciple. It means willingness to learn. True discipline arises from within. It comes from understanding. If a child understands why they should not eat only candy, they will stop. If you explain, look, your stomach hurts, your energy is low, sugar does this, you are appealing to their intelligence. You are creating discipline. If you just say, no candy, you are creating rebellion. They will steal candy when you are not looking, and they will enjoy it more because it is forbidden fruit. Explain, have patience. It takes longer to explain than to command, but the result lasts a lifetime. The command lasts only as long as you are watching. Do you want a child who behaves only when the police are watching, or a child who has a policeman inside their own conscience? Create conscience, not commandments. And finally, for this moment, let us speak of the greatest gift of all, meditation. You teach them how to brush their teeth. You teach them how to wash their hands. Hygiene of the body, but you do not teach them hygiene of the mind. You send them into the world with a dirty mind, full of thoughts, stress, anger, jealousy, and no way to clean it. Teach your child to meditate, but do not make it serious. Do not say, sit still for 20 minutes and chant Om. They will hate it. Make meditation play. Let's see who can be the quietest statue. Let's listen to the sound of the birds and count how many we hear. Let's dance like crazy for 5 minutes and then freeze. Dynamic meditation, catharsis. Let them scream, jump, throw pillows, get the energy out, and then silence. In that silence, they will taste their own soul. If a child tastes silence at the age of 7, they will never lose it. They may go into the world, they may get lost, they may do drugs, they may make money, but sooner or later, the memory of that silence will haunt them. It will call them back. You have planted a seed that cannot be destroyed. Give them this seed. It is worth more than a university degree. It is the only insurance against the madness of the world. And as you teach them to meditate, you must meditate. You cannot teach what you do not know. If you are stressed and you tell them to relax, they will laugh at you. Sit with them. Close your eyes with them. Make your home a temple of silence for just 10 minutes a day. Turn off the TV. Turn off the phones. Just be. In those 10 minutes, the healing happens. The connection happens. The love flows. We will pause here, but the river continues flowing. The understanding is deepening. You are shedding the old skin. You are becoming new. And as you become new, as you shed the old skin of the authoritarian parent, a new quality enters your relationship. A quality that is often demanded but rarely understood. I am speaking of respect. Every parent wants respect. You say to the child, respect your elders. You say, I am your father, listen to me. You demand it, but have you ever asked yourself why? Why should the child respect you just because you are older? Being old is not an achievement. It just means you have managed not to die yet. Time passes for everyone. Even a fool grows old. Even a donkey grows old. Does the donkey deserve respect just for being old? Respect cannot be demanded. It must be commanded, not by force, but by your being, by your integrity, by your love. If you respect the child will respect you. It is an echo. But you do not respect the child. You humiliate them, you interrupt them, you dismiss their feelings. You treat them like a servant or a pet, and then you say, respect me. The child may fear you. They may obey you to avoid punishment. But fear is not respect. Fear is hate in disguise. If they fear you, they will wait for the day you are weak, and then they will rebel. Real respect arises when the child looks at you and sees a person worth respecting, a person who keeps their promises, a person who is kind to others, not just to the boss, a person who lives the truth. If you lie to your neighbor but tell your child, don't lie, the child sees the split. They lose respect. Children are like X-ray machines. They see through your mask. They know exactly who you are. So do not worry about being respected. Worry about being respectable. Worry about being real. If you are real, the child will fall in love with you, and that love contains the highest respect. And this leads us to the delicate topic of morality. You want your child to be good. You teach them, do this, don't do that. You give them the 10 Commandments. You give them the rules of society. But rules are dead, and life is alive. What is right in one moment may be wrong in the next. If you give the child a rigid set of rules, you make them stupid. You make them unable to respond to the reality of the moment. Instead of teaching good and bad, teach awareness. If you are aware you cannot harm another, it is impossible. Have you ever tried to be angry while being fully aware? Try it. You cannot do it. Anger requires unconsciousness. Violence requires sleep. If you teach the child to be alert, to be watching, to be conscious, they will naturally be good. But their goodness will not be a forced discipline, it will be a natural fragrance. They will not steal, not because the police will catch them, but because they feel the pain of the other. This is true morality, it comes from inside. When you force morality from the outside, you create a hypocrite. The child learns to pretend. They learn to smile on the outside while cursing on the inside. They learn to be a saint in the living room and a devil in the playground. Do not create a split personality. Let them be whole. If they do something wrong, do not judge. Ask, why did you do this? What were you feeling? Did it make you happy? Help them examine their own actions. I hit my brother. Okay, and how did it feel? It felt good for a second, then I felt bad. Aha, so hitting brings a bad feeling in the end. Interesting. Let them discover the law of karma for themselves. Action brings reaction. If they discover it, they will never forget it. If you just punish them, they will only learn how to avoid getting caught next time. If you resonate with this shift from rules to awareness, please click like. It shows you trust the intelligence of the child, and consider joining our community by clicking join to support this vision. Now let us touch upon a subject that most parents are terrified of, the body. You teach the child to be ashamed of their body. You tell them, don't touch there, cover yourself, that is dirty. You create a deep conflict between the child and their own biology. The body is the temple, it is the vehicle of the soul. If you make the child hate their vehicle, how can they travel far? Celebrate the body. Let them run naked when they are small. Let them feel the wind and the sun. Do not rush to cover them with layers of shame. When they ask questions about where babies come from, do not lie. Do not tell them about the stork. Do not tell them about the cabbage patch. Why do you lie? Because you are uncomfortable with sex. You carry shame, and you pass that shame to the innocent inquirer. Tell the truth, simply, scientifically, beautifully. It is an act of love. Mom and dad came together in a deep hug, and a seed was planted. If you treat it as natural, they will treat it as natural. If you treat it as a dirty secret, they will become obsessed with it. They will look for answers in the gutter, in dirty magazines, in the dark corners of the internet. Be the first source of truth for your child. If they trust you with their questions about the body, they will trust you with their questions about life. And intertwined with the body is the concept of death. You hide death from the child. If the goldfish dies, you quickly flush it and buy a new one before the child wakes up. You think you are protecting them. You are not protecting them. You are deceiving them. You are missing a great opportunity to teach them about the preciousness of life. When the goldfish dies, show them. Look, the fish has stopped moving, the life has left, the body is here, but the energy is gone. Cry with them, hold a funeral, dig a hole in the garden, put flowers on it, let them feel the sadness. Sadness is not bad, sadness gives depth. Sadness makes the heart tender. If they understand that life ends, they will respect life more. They will not crush the ant. They will not pull the wings off the fly. They will understand that everything is fragile. And when a grandparent dies, do not say, "Grandpa went on a long trip." That is a lie. The child will wait for him to come back. And when he doesn't, they will feel betrayed. Say, "Grandpa's body was old, it was like an old car, it couldn't run anymore, so he left the car, he has gone back to the universe, like a drop of water going back to the ocean." This is poetry, this is truth, it takes away the fear. Death is not the enemy, death is the rest after the long day. If you can teach your child to accept death, you have removed the greatest fear of humanity. They will live courageously, because the fear of death is what stops us from living fully. If you are brave enough to be honest about life and death with your child, acknowledge this courage by clicking the like button. And check the description for ebooks that help explain these deep topics to young minds. Now let us move to the atmosphere of the home, laughter. A serious home is a graveyard. A home without laughter is a home without God. Make your home a place of humor. Do not be so serious about everything. If the milk spills, it is funny. If you trip, it is funny. Laugh at yourself. When a parent laughs at their own mistakes, the child learns humility. They learn that it is okay to be imperfect. Laughter cleans the psychological system. It releases tension. It brings oxygen to the brain. A laughing child is a healthy child. A laughing family is an immune family, immune to depression, immune to stress. But fathers often feel they must be stoic. Mothers feel they must be composed. Drop these roles, be a clown. The clown is a very spiritual figure. The clown mocks the ego. The clown breaks the rules. The clown brings joy. Once a day be silly. Dance a silly dance. Make a funny face. Speak in a made-up language. The child will delight in it. They will see that you are alive, not just a rule-dispensing machine. And in that laughter, the generation gap disappears. Laughter has no age. When you laugh, you are neither old nor young. You are timeless. Connect through joy, not just through duty. Now I want to speak about education, not the schooling system, but true education. The word education comes from the Latin educare, which means to draw out, to bring out what is inside. But your schools do the opposite. They stuff in. They stuff in geography, history, mathematics. They treat the child like an empty bucket to be filled with facts. Facts are cheap. Google has all the facts. You do not need a brain full of facts. You need a brain full of intelligence. True education is helping the child find their own passion. What makes their eyes light up? Is it stones? Is it stars? Is it bugs? Is it colors? Is it numbers? Whatever it is, support it, feed it. If your child loves collecting rocks, do not say, "Throw those dirty stones away." Buy them a book on geology. Take them to a museum. Give them a shelf for their collection. You never know. That child might be the next Einstein of geology. But even if they are not, even if it is just a hobby, the passion is the point. The ability to love something deeply is the skill. If they learn to love rocks, they will learn to love life. If you crush their love for rocks, you crush their capacity to love. Do not worry if their passion does not seem profitable. Oh, he likes poetry, he will be poor. Better to be a poor poet who is blissfully happy than a rich banker who wants to jump off the roof. And who knows, the world is changing. The poets are becoming the leaders. The dreamers are inventing the future. Do not judge the future with the eyes of the past. Trust the child's instinct. They know what they are here for. It is encoded in their DNA. Your job is just to clear the weeds so the flower can grow. If you are ready to support your child's true nature, however strange it may seem, you are a conscious parent. Support this channel with a super thanks so we can reach those who are still afraid of their children's uniqueness. Now let us look at the concept of gratitude. You teach the child to say thank you. It is a social formality. Say thank you to auntie. The child mumbles thank you, but they do not feel it. They are just reciting a script. This is false gratitude. It deadens the soul. Teach them the feeling of gratitude, and you teach it by feeling it yourself. When you see the sun, stop, take a breath. Say, wow, look at that light. Thank you, sun. Let the child see your genuine appreciation. When you eat the apple, say, thank you, tree, thank you, farmer. Gratitude is not a word. It is a way of seeing. It is seeing the interconnectedness of all things. It is realizing that we are supported by the whole universe. If the child catches this infection of gratitude, they will never be poor. Even if they have nothing, they will be rich, because they will see the richness of the sky, the wind, the friendship. A grateful heart cannot be depressed. A grateful heart cannot be bitter. But do not force it. Do not say, you should be grateful for your food. There are starving children in Africa. That creates guilt. That makes the food taste like ash. Instead, inspire it. Is it not amazing that this rice grew in the soil, drank the rain, and traveled all this way to feed us? We are lucky. Positive gratitude, not negative gratitude born of guilt. And now the most difficult topic for the modern parent, technology. You ask, Osho, the screens, the phones, the games, they are lost in it. What to do? This is a new challenge. But the principle remains the same. If you ban it, it becomes a craving. If you allow it without limits, it becomes an addiction. The problem is not the technology. The problem is the unconsciousness with which it is used. Use technology consciously. Watch the movie with them. Play the video game with them. Discuss it. Why did that character do that? Is that violence real? Turn the passive consumption into active engagement. And, most importantly, provide a better alternative. You complain they are on the iPad, but you are on your phone. You are the model. If you want them to disconnect, you must disconnect. Create no tech zones, not as a punishment, but as a reward. Now is our time. No phones, just us. We go to the forest, we cook together. If the real world is boring, they will escape to the virtual world. Make the real world exciting. Make the dinner table a place of laughter and debate, not a place of silence and chewing. If the home is alive, the screen loses its power. The screen is only a substitute for a missing life. Fill the life, and the substitute falls away. This requires energy from you. It is easier to give them the iPad so you can have peace, but that peace is costly. You are paying for it with their soul. Invest the energy. Be more interesting than the iPad. You can do it. You are alive. The iPad is dead. Life is always more magnetic than death if it is fully lived. If you are struggling with this digital balance, our ebooks offer strategies for the digital age parent. Check the description. And your join membership helps us create more content on these modern challenges. Now, let us speak of solitude. You are afraid when the child is alone. You think they are lonely. You organize play dates. You fill their schedule. Soccer, piano, karate, coding. They have no time to be alone. This is a crime. Solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is when you miss the other. Solitude is when you find yourself. A child needs time to stare at the ceiling. A child needs time to be bored. Yes, bored. Boredom is the threshold of creativity. When the mind is bored, it starts to look for something new. It invents, it dreams. If you always entertain them, you cripple their imagination. You make them dependent on outside stimulation. They become consumers of entertainment, not creators of life. Let them be bored. Let them sit. Do not rush to fix it. Mom, I'm bored. Great. See what happens next. In that space of nothingness, they will discover their own inner resources. They will pick up a pen and write. They will go outside and build a fort. They will talk to their imaginary friend. This is the birth of the inner life. If you deprive them of solitude, they will grow up to be adults who cannot sit alone in a room for 5 minutes without checking their phone. They will be running from themselves forever. Teach them the beauty of being alone. And again, you teach this by example. Let them see you sitting quietly, enjoying your tea, not doing anything, just enjoying your own company. They will learn, it is good to be with oneself. I am good company. This self-friendship is the basis of all mental health. If I am friends with myself, I will never be truly lonely. And finally, for this part, let us speak of the new child. The world is waiting for a new kind of human being. We have tried the old kind, the soldier, the worker, the priest, the politician. They have failed. Look at the world they built. It is full of war, pollution, poverty, madness. The old humanity has failed. We need a new man. And the new man comes from the new child. The new child is Zorba the Buddha. Zorba is the Greek who loves the earth. He eats, drinks, dances, loves, plays. He is rooted in the body. He is full of juice. Buddha is the awakened one. He is silent, witnessing, meditative, spiritual. He is high in the sky. In the past, you had to choose. If you wanted to be spiritual, you had to reject the world, go to the monastery, starve yourself. If you wanted to be worldly, you had to reject the spirit, become a materialist. This split has destroyed humanity. It created schizophrenics. The new child is both, whole. Teach your child to love the pizza and to love the meditation. Teach them to play the guitar wildly and to sit in silence deeply. Teach them science and poetry. Do not divide, synthesize. Let them be materialists and spiritualists. Let them enjoy the outer market and the inner temple. This is the only hope for the future. A human being who is rich on the outside and rich on the inside. 200% life. If you raise your child this way, you are doing the greatest service to the universe. You are helping evolution to take the next step. You are not just a parent, you are a revolutionary. You are the guardian of the future. Feel the magnitude of this task. It is not a chore, it is a glory. Be proud that existence has trusted you with this mission. And know that you are not alone. We are a network of lights across the globe. Every time you choose love over fear, you light up your grid. You help a mother in Brazil, you help a father in Japan. Consciousness is connected. So stand tall, breathe deep, drop the guilt, embrace the adventure. We have a little more to say. The final seal on this transmission is yet to come. The ultimate secret of the parent-child bond. The ultimate secret is this: you do not raise the child, the relationship raises you both. It is a mutual alchemy. You think you are the sculptor and they are the clay, but in reality you are both clay and life is the sculptor. The friction between you, the love between you, the misunderstanding between you, this is the fire in which both of you are baked into strong vessels. If you stop fighting this truth, the struggle ends. You realize that your child is your spiritual partner. They have agreed on a soul level to come into your life to push exactly the buttons you need pushed, to teach you exactly the lessons you need to learn. The child who is stubborn is teaching you patience. The child who is sensitive is teaching you gentleness. The child who is wild is teaching you to let go of control. They are tailored specifically for your awakening. So bow to them. Internally bow to them. Say, "Thank you, Master, for this difficult lesson." And now we must address the heaviest chain that binds the parent, the lack of forgiveness for your own parents. You cannot be a free parent if you are still an angry child. If you are still carrying resentment toward your mother or your father, you are not an adult. You are a child in an adult's body trying to raise another child. And this creates chaos. You will either try to be exactly like your parents. My father was right. Discipline is everything. Or you will try to be exactly the opposite. My father was strict, so I will have zero rules. Both are reactions. Both are forms of bondage. If you are the opposite of your father is still controlling you from the grave. He is still dictating your behavior. You are not free to choose. You are just rebelling. To be a conscious parent, you must drop the reaction. You must arrive at zero, and the only way to arrive at zero is forgiveness. You must realize that your parents were victims of their parents, and their parents were victims of their parents. It is a long chain of unconsciousness. Adam and Eve were the first unconscious parents, and the madness has continued ever since. Do not blame them. They did the best they could with the consciousness they had. They gave you life. That is enough. Even if they gave you nothing else, no love, no money, no support, they gave you the opportunity to breathe. Be grateful for that. Go to them if they are alive, or close your eyes if they are past and say, "I release you. You are just human beings. You made mistakes. I forgive you." The moment you forgive your parents, you become an individual. You cut the umbilical cord. You are no longer the son of so and so. You are you. And only when you are you can you let your child be them. If you do not heal this, you will project your unhealed need for a parent onto your child. You will want your child to make you feel good, to make you feel loved, to validate you. You will turn your child into your parent. This is a great crime. It is called parentification. The child becomes the emotional caretaker of the adult. Beware of this. If you feel lonely and you go to your child for comfort, be careful. A hug is fine. But if you pour your adult burdens onto their small shoulders, you are crushing them. Carry your own burdens, or give them to existence. But do not give them to the child. If you are ready to break this ancestral chain, click like as a symbol of breaking the cycle. And if you want to support the dissemination of these healing truths, your super thanks is a contribution to the global healing of families. Now, let us speak to the single parents and the parents in difficult situations. You carry a double load. You carry the guilt. I cannot give my child a normal family. You worry that they are missing something. I say to you, drop the guilt. Love does not count the number of parents. Love counts the intensity of presence. A child can be perfectly happy with one conscious parent and perfectly miserable with two unconscious parents who are fighting every day. It is better to have one peaceful home than two parents in a war zone. Do not apologize for your situation. Do not say, I am sorry I am alone. No. Stand tall. You are enough. If you are loving, if you are present, you are the whole universe for the child. And often, children of single parents grow up to be very strong, very independent, very compassionate. They see the reality of life early. They see your effort. They respect it. Do not try to be both mother and father. Just be you. If you are the mother, be the best mother. Existence will provide the father energy through an uncle, a grandfather, a teacher, or simply through the energy of life itself. The universe fills the vacuum. Trust it. And to the divorced parents, the marriage ended. Fine. Marriage is a man-made institution. It has an expiration date, but the parenthood does not end. Do not use the child as a weapon. Do not use the child as a spy. What did your father say? Who is he dating? This is poison. When you poison the child against the other parent, you are poisoning half of the child. The child is 50% you and 50% the other. If you tell the child, your father is evil, the child feels, then half of me is evil. You create a civil war inside the child's body. Swallow your ego for the sake of the guest. Be polite to the other host. You do not have to love each other anymore, but you must respect the shared creation. Say to the child, your father loves you. We cannot live together, but he loves you. Even if he is a fool, find something good to say. He has a nice laugh. He is good at math. Protect the image of the other parent, not for the parent's sake, but for the child's dignity. Let the child discover the truth when they are older. They will see. You do not need to tell them, but do not be the one to destroy their roots. If you can rise to this level of maturity, you are a spiritual giant. It is easy to meditate in a cave. It is hard to meditate while your ex-husband is picking up the kids. That is the real yoga. If you are walking this difficult path of co-parenting, we honor you. Check the description for resources on conscious uncoupling and parenting, and join our community by clicking join to find support among others who are walking this path. Now, let us return to the daily magic. We spoke of listening, but there is a deeper level of listening to the silence. Sometimes the child does not speak. They sit in their room, they look out the window, the parent rushes in. What's wrong? Why are you quiet? Are you depressed? We are terrified of silence. We think silence means something is wrong, but silence is the language of the soul. Maybe the child is just being. Maybe they are watching a dust mote floating in the sunlight. Maybe they are traveling in their imagination. Do not interrupt. Learn to sit comfortably in the silence with them. Go into their room, sit on the floor, and say nothing, just be there. At first they will be suspicious. What do you want, Mom? Nothing. I just like being near you. And then settle into the quiet. In that quiet, a bridge is built that words cannot build. The child feels, I am safe to just be. I don't have to entertain her. I don't have to report to her. This hanging out is the lost art of parenting. We are always doing parenting. We rarely just hang out with the human being. When you hang out, the armor drops, the secrets come out. Mom, today at school, the things they would never tell you in a formal interrogation, they will tell you in the lazy silence. Create pockets of nothingness in your schedule. Lazy Sunday mornings, long walks where no one talks, car rides without the radio. Nature abhors a vacuum, they say, but spirit loves a vacuum. In the vacuum, intimacy rushes in. And now, a word about expectations. You have a movie playing in your head called My Child's Future. In this movie, they go to this university, they marry this kind of person, they live in this kind of house. Burn the movie. It is fiction, and it is a horror movie for the child. Because if they sense you have a script, they have only two choices: submit to the script and kill their soul, rebel against the script and lose your love. Both are tragedies. Tell them explicitly, I have no expectations for you. I only want you to be true to yourself. If you want to be a monk, be a monk. If you want to be a musician, be a musician. If you want to be a house husband, be a house husband. My happiness does not depend on your career. Can you say this and mean it? It is scary. What if they become a bum? They won't. People who follow their passion do not become bums. They become vibrant, active contributors to life. People become bums when they are depressed, when they are forced to do what they hate, when they give up on life because life has been stolen from them. Freedom creates energy. Repression creates lethargy. Trust the life force. The acorn does not need a script to become an oak tree. It just needs soil and sun. The blueprint is inside. Your anxiety is the only obstacle. Your anxiety is the frost that kills the bud. Replace anxiety with wonder. Instead of worrying, what will he become? Wonder, who is he becoming? Watch with excitement. Ah, look, he loves animals. Maybe he will work with nature. Look, she loves to argue. Maybe she will be a lawyer or a philosopher. Be the audience, not the director. The director is stressed. The audience enjoys the show. Enjoy the show of your child's life. It is a one-time performance. It will never be repeated. Do not miss it by looking at your script. If you are ready to burn the script and enjoy the show, click like. It is your ticket to the theater of acceptance, and your super thanks is applause for the miracle of life. Now, let us speak of the teenager's bedroom, the closed door, the messy room, the loud music. This is their fortress, this is their laboratory. Do not invade. Knock, respect the boundary. The messy room is a reflection of the chaos happening inside their brain. Their brain is restructuring. It is a construction site. Construction sites are messy. If you obsess over the clean room, you miss the construction of the mind. Close the door if you don't like the mess, but do not make it a war. But Osho, they must learn order. They will. When they move into their own house and they have to pay the rent and they invite a lover over, they will clean the room. Reality teaches better than nagging. Save the relationship. The relationship is worth more than a tidy carpet. And the loud music? It is their way of drowning out the noise of the world so they can feel something. It is tribal. It is primal. Let them have their tribal dance. Remember your own teenage years. Did you not have terrible hair? Did you not listen to noise? Did you not think your parents were dinosaurs? It is the cycle. Smile at it. Ah, the dinosaurs are here again. Do not take it personally. It is just biology playing its tune. And finally, for this section, the concept of friendship. The goal of parenting is not to remain a parent. The goal is to evolve into a friend. The parent-child relationship is vertical, one up, one down. The friend relationship is horizontal, eye to eye. You start vertical because the baby is helpless, but every year you should lower the angle. By the time they are 21, it should be perfectly horizontal. Most parents stay vertical until they die. I am your father even when the sun is 50. This is ugly. This is stagnation. Come down from the pedestal, meet them on the ground, ask for their advice. Son, how do I use this phone? Daughter, what do you think about this news? Show them you value their intellect. When you treat them as an equal, they rise to the occasion. When you treat them as a subordinate, they remain a child. And friendship is the only bond that survives death. Authority dies with the body, but friendship is spiritual. If you are friends with your child, you will be connected beyond this life. We are nearing the end. The circle is almost complete. You have heard the call to wake up, the call to drop the hammer and pick up the watering can, the call to stop sculpting and start witnessing. You may feel overwhelmed. So much to change. Do not worry. You do not have to change everything overnight. Just change one thing. Just change your look. Look at them differently today. When they walk into the room, let your eyes light up. Let them feel, I am a joy to my father. I am a delight to my mother. Just that. If you do nothing else, just that one change in your eyes will save them. The eyes are the gateway. If the eyes are welcoming, the soul feels welcomed on earth. If the eyes are critical, the soul feels rejected by the earth. Be the welcoming committee of existence. Every morning when they wake up, look at them as if they are the sun rising, because they are the sun of your life. And in that warmth, all the wounds we have spoken of will heal. The shame will melt. The fear will evaporate. The not enoughness will vanish. And you will see the flower bloom, a flower you could never have designed, a flower more beautiful than your dreams. This is the promise. It is not a theory. It is a law of love. And as the flower blooms, you will realize something that will bring tears to your eyes. You will realize that by allowing your child to be free, you have freed yourself. You have freed yourself from the need to control, from the fear of the future, from the heavy burden of being the boss. You have become light. You have become a feather on the breath of God. This is the ultimate secret. The child was never the problem. The problem was your seriousness. The problem was your idea that life is a problem to be solved. Life is not a problem to be solved. It is a mystery to be lived. And the child knows this. The child is the mystery living itself. When you stop solving the child and start living with the child, the home becomes a paradise. A paradise not because everything is perfect, not because there are no dirty socks or broken plates, but because there is love. And where there is love, everything is accepted. The dirty socks are accepted. The broken plates are accepted. The noise is accepted. In that acceptance, the child feels, I am home. And to feel I am home is the deepest need of the human soul. Most people are homeless. They have houses, but they are homeless. They do not feel at home in their bodies. They do not feel at home in their families. They do not feel at home in the universe. They feel like strangers, intruders, always apologizing for existing. But your child will walk the earth like a king, like a queen, not with arrogance, but with a deep, relaxed sense of belonging. This earth is mine. This sky is mine. I belong here. This confidence is what the world is starving for. So do not underestimate what you are doing. You are not just parenting. You are healing the wound of separation that has plagued humanity for thousands of years. You are stitching the world back together with the thread of love. Now, I want to speak to you about time. You think you have time. You think, I will connect with him later. I will play with her on the weekend. I will listen when I am less busy. But I tell you, time is a trickster. It slips through your fingers like sand. One day you turn around and the baby is gone. The toddler is gone. The child is gone. The teenager is gone. And a man stands before you. If you miss the moments, you cannot get them back. You cannot rewind the film. Do not postpone love. Do not postpone joy. There is only now. If you are reading the newspaper and your child comes to show you a drawing, put the newspaper down. The news will be the same tomorrow. War, politics, misery. It is always the same. But the child's drawing, that moment of excitement in their eyes, it is a fleeting spark. Catch it, celebrate it. That attention, that absolute undivided attention for 2 minutes is worth more than a trip to Disneyland. It feeds the soul. Be a now parent, not a later parent. Later is the name of the poison that kills relationships. Now is the name of the nectar. And as you live in the now with your child, you will discover playfulness. You have forgotten how to play. You have become heavy. You think play is for children. No, play is for life. God is playful. Look at the giraffe. Look at the platypus. Look at the colors of the parrot. Do you think a serious God created these? No, a playful God painted them. A God who loves variety, who loves surprises. When you play with your child, you are closest to God. You drop the ego, you drop the mask, you become a child again. Roll on the grass, get your clothes dirty, build a sandcastle and let the ocean destroy it. Laugh when it falls. If you can be playful, your child will trust you. They cannot trust a statue, they cannot trust a judge, but they can trust a playmate. And in that play, deep teaching happens. You teach them how to win without arrogance. You teach them how to lose without anger. You teach them fairness. You teach them creativity, all without a single lecture, just through the game. If you are ready to bring playfulness back into your life, click like. It is a commitment to joy. And if you wish to support the spread of this joy, your super thanks is a playful wink to the universe. Now I must touch upon the concept of perfection. You want to be a perfect parent. This is a disease. There is no such thing as a perfect parent. There are only real parents. If you try to be perfect, you will be fake. You will hide your anger. You will hide your tiredness. You will smile a plastic smile, and the child will hate the plastic smile. Be an imperfect parent, a gloriously imperfect parent. When you lose your temper, apologize. I lost it. I am sorry. I am human. When you are tired, say it. I am empty today. I need to rest. This teaches the child compassion. They learn that people have limits. They learn forgiveness. If you are perfect, they can never forgive you because you never admit a mistake. And they will judge themselves against your perfection and feel small. I can never be like Mom. She is a saint. I am a mess. Don't be a saint. Be a mess. Be a loving mess. Be a dancing mess. That is much more approachable. That is much more lovable. Drop the burden of perfection. It is too heavy. Put it down. Feel the relief. Now you can breathe. Now you can move. Now you can love. And finally, I want to give you a vision of the future. Imagine your child 20 years from now. They are walking down a street. Something happens, a challenge, a crisis, a sudden change. How do they react? Do they panic? Do they crumble? Do they look for someone to blame? Or do they pause? Do they breathe? Do they look inward? Do they smile with a quiet strength? Do they hear your voice in their head? Not a voice of criticism, but a voice of trust. You can do this. You are enough. That voice is what you are building today. Every day with every word, You are recording the voice that will play in their head for the rest of their lives. Make it a kind voice. Make it a brave voice. You are the architect of their inner cathedral. Build it with light, build it with space, build it with love, and know this: even if you have made mistakes, and we all have, it is never too late to repair. The heart is resilient. A single moment of true connection can heal years of distance. Start today. Start now. Go to your child, look them in the eyes, touch their hand, and say, I see you, I love you just as you are. And then listen, and then allow, and then trust. This is the path. It is simple, but it is not easy. It requires your awareness. It requires your wakefulness. But the reward is a life lived in truth. The reward is a love that knows no bounds. We have walked a long road together in this sharing. From the first wound to the final blessing, you have the map. Now you must walk the path. Do not follow me. Do not follow any guru. Follow your own heart. Your heart knows the way. The guru is inside you. The guru is inside your child. Listen to the silence between you. That silence is the master. And if you stumble, if you fall back into old habits, do not beat yourself up. Just laugh. Ah, the robot came back. And then gently step back into awareness. It is a dance. Step, stumble, step, glide, just keep dancing. You are the chosen guardians of the new humanity. Take this responsibility with joy. Take this responsibility with gratitude. And may your home be filled with the laughter of children, the wisdom of elders, and the silence of the divine. This is my message to you. This is my hope for you. This is my love flowing to you. Go now. Be the love you wish to see. Be the peace you wish to feel. Be the parent you needed when you were small. And remember, always remember, love is not something you do. Love is what you are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for loving. If this journey has transformed something in you, if a light has turned on in a dark room, do not let it flicker out. Fuel it. Subscribe to this channel. Become part of this global family of conscious parents. Click the bell icon so you are reminded to return to your center. Share this video. Send it to your sister, your brother, your friend who is struggling. You might save a life. You might save a childhood. Click join to walk closer with us. Check the description for the ebooks that will be your daily companions. And leave a super thanks as an offering of gratitude to the flow of wisdom. You are the light of the world. Shine, shine on your children, shine on yourself.